Championship Saturday, and this year the backdrop is the desert. 37 drivers competing in today's race, but the focus will be on just 4 because one of them will be crowned the 2020 Xfinity Series champion.
This weekend is the biggest weekend of my racing career, and my competitors, it's the biggest weekend in their racing career.
Today, a champion will be crowned in NASCAR's Xfinity Series.
I've got more experience than a lot of the other guys that I'm racing against, and that will pay dividends whenever it's all said and done.
There's no better race car I've ever driven.
This was a career-defining year.
Yeah, big boy, nice job.
I've got to do so many things this year that I literally dreamed of.
Briscoe's gonna win at Kansas.
That's badass right there.
I'm not sure why everyone is overlooking me. I've fought hard with my team. I've worked long hours. I put everything into this.
Welcome to Countdown to Green. It is championship weekend. 2 Fords and 2 Justins vying for the title. Today, one man's dream comes true. Here in our NBC studios with Kyle Petty and Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett. Dale, we will introduce viewers to the Phoenix 4 in just a minute, but no matter which one wins, we're going to have a first-time champion. Is today life-changing?
Oh, it certainly is. One of these 4 drivers is going to have a trophy that everybody wants. And as a competitor, you always want trophies and titles that are hard to get and not a lot of people have. So they're going to work hard for this afternoon. We've got the right 4 drivers. They've won 20 of the 32 races so far this year. I believe they'll add 1 more to it. But just who that'll be, we'll see at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is a day you dream of as a driver. You walk into the racetrack as just another race car driver. You leave as a champion.
Well, who are they? Who are the 4 who are going to try to make that happen? Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric have combined to win 14 races this season. Justin Allgaier is a veteran with lots of playoff experience. And then there's Justin Haley, who's the only one of the 4 to have won a race at the Cup level.
21-year-old driver, career win number 1. Oh, there goes the 11. Justin Haley is going to win. Justin Haley has scored the win here at Talladega.
I think we're proving a lot of people wrong.
Well, a lot of people have Justin Haley pegged as the underdog in this championship. For Justin, even your own social media accounts are using the hashtag Dark Horse. So what do you need to do out there today to prove all your naysayers wrong?
Well, I don't need to do anything. We bet on ourselves here at College Racing. Leaf Filter Gutter Protection bet on me. I bet on myself, and this is farther than we ever could have dreamed. For a shot full of about 20 people, this is incredible to be in the Final 4. So we just hang around all day, play safe, and hopefully we can be there to the end. But can't say enough about Team Chevy, everyone at NASCAR for getting this season in. It's been truly remarkable.
I've gotten to hang around you a little bit earlier today. I've talked to your teammate and friend, AJ Allmendinger, and about how relaxed you've been. At what point do you start to get jacked up, whether it's excited or nervous about this championship?
Well, you got to stay relaxed for a good bit. That's how championships are won, right? They're not sprints, they're marathons. So I'm sure I'll get there at some point, but right now I'm feeling pretty good.
All right, Justin Haley will line up 4th amongst the championship 4.
Thanks, Kelly. And also at Phoenix today is Brad Daugherty, who joins us now. And Brad, let's talk about Justin Haley. He sort of feels like the Rodney Dangerfield, I guess, of this race.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Krista. And the first thing I want to say, oh my goodness, did you see that truck race last night? I can't wait till this one gets started. Justin Haley, he's got a chip on his shoulder. We talked to him this week. He feels like he's the underdog. No one respects his ability, what he's done this year. So he's racing with that chip on his shoulder. I've looked back over the stats and tried to find something a little different between the 4. And if you look at them all over the last 10 races, Justin Haley's been decent. But back here in March, he finished in the top 5. He's the only one of the championship 4 that finished in the top 5. And oh yeah, the other racetrack, Richmond, that we ran recently, he led 51 laps. Almost won that race, finished 2nd. At the end of the day, that 11 car, that dog's gonna hunt. Watch for Justin Haley to be in the mix.
We have got to figure out a way to get Brad Daugherty more excited about what's going on at Phoenix. He won't, by the way, Justin Haley will not have his regular pit crew today. He'll be using the Cup Series 43 team instead of the 42. They have a lot of experience with the organization, Kaulig Racing that is, and that pit crew won that Truck Series title for Sheldon Creed last night. A lot of good things going on. going on there today. Our next contender is making his 4th appearance in the Xfinity Championship 4, but is still thirsting for a taste of the title, and the desert is a good place for him.
Not only do we want to win a championship, but we want to win the race.
Allgaier's going to win at the Monster Mile.
Can you say how cool this is?
Second win of 2020.
Heck yeah!
Justin Allgaier sweeps the weekend at Richmond. A huge weekend for Justin Allgaier.
We got nothing to lose. We just got to go for broke.
Well, let's check in now with the driver of the 7. It is Justin Allgaier for the 4th time in the Final Four. What's going through your mind right now, Justin?
Thankful we're here in Phoenix. I love this racetrack. It's been great to us. Not only myself and the 7 team, but for all of Junior Motorsports. So proud of all the guys back at the shop, proud of all the guys in the 7 team, the hard work and dedication that's been put into this year. We set out in February to be in this Final Four and have a shot at it. And we've done that. It's statistically probably one of our better racetracks. I'm excited for today.
You've said yourself that you weren't the dominant car this year. How much of an upset would an Allgaier championship win today be?
I don't know that it'd be an upset. I mean, obviously, from a speed standpoint, we've been really good. We just haven't had the finishes to show for it, and I'm gonna take a lot of the blame for that. Just putting myself in bad positions. Knowing the stakes of what all these competitors are going for, trying to go for a championship and lock their way in. We've rallied behind that. Our playoffs have obviously gotten us to where we're at today, and we put ourselves in good position. And this team on the short tracks has been lights out. That's probably the biggest thing for us, to dominate the way that we did at Richmond, to win Dover, to run second last week at Martinsville. It makes me feel even that much prouder of this team and more excited for today's race.
Justin, this is your 10th full-time season in the Xfinity Series. So a championship today, I don't know if it changed your trajectory necessarily, but how would a championship change your life?
Well, this is also 10 years for me with Brand Professional Agriculture, and to see what they've been able to accomplish outside of the racetrack as a business. Just a big hats off to all the employees and the customers. It's been fun to represent them for 10 years. It's been fun to be a part of this Xfinity Series for 10 years, and what Xfinity does for this series and for this sport is truly incredible. I don't know that a championship changes anything for me. I love what I do, and I love the sport of auto racing more than anything. But this today, there's so many circumstances that play into what we do today. I'm just proud of NASCAR. I'm proud of the fans. I'm proud of the teams. I'm proud of everybody that's been able to kind of battle through what we've gone through in 2020 to be able to be here at the racetrack. That's not to downplay what's gone on in our country and the struggles that a lot of folks have gone through, and that's weighed heavy on our hearts all year this year. And we're with everyone that's had trouble and struggles through this coronavirus, and we're hoping that we're bringing some good entertainment for those folks that are back at home watching on TV, and we're going to go give it everything we got. Today, when we walk out of this racetrack today, 100% will be on the table.
He starts first. We'll see if he can finish first in the Championship 4 today.
Thanks, Dave. And Kyle, that's a veteran driver. He just worked in the sport, the series, his sponsor, the country. Is it too late to write him in on the ballot? Possibly. What are your notes on Justin Allgaier?
Yeah, listen, we've been here before with Justin. You heard Dave say you've been here 4 times. We've been right here with him. We've had him at this desk and interviewed him and talked to him. There's a difference. There's a calmness about who Justin Allgaier is right now. There's a calmness in his approach to the race. I think he would be disappointed if he didn't win. But this race does not define, this championship does not define who Justin Allgaier is. He's grown, he's matured in the 10 years he's been in this circuit that he's been here. And listen, he's a champion in a lot of people's books, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, but we've always talked about if the championship and that title race was going to be at Phoenix, then Justin Allgaier would be the favorite. And now that opportunity is right here in front of him. He gets the job done other times. Can he get it done when everything is on the line? And I promise you, he'll think differently about a championship if he's able to get that today.
You saw his car, that helmet that he will wear today, he's worn throughout the playoffs, designed by his 7-year-old daughter, Harper. It's a day every driver hopes to be a part of, a day to race for a championship. More to come from Phoenix as we get closer to the season finale. Welcome back. Here are today's odds to win from our partners at PointsBet Sportsbook. Chase Briscoe, a slight favorite. He's on his way to racing on Sundays, but today he tries to put an exclamation point on a stellar 2020 season.
Just trying to focus on our car. Don't focus on anybody else.
His first win in 2020.
To the stripe they come. Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe, he's been money all night long. His 9th win of the season.
Been the guy to beat all year long, just trying to carry that confidence into Phoenix.
Well, for years, the championship race was decided at Homestead Miami Speedway. This year is the first year it will be decided here in Phoenix. So just that switch, Chase, from Miami to deciding it here at Phoenix, how much of that was a game changer for you?
It was a game changer for sure. I would have loved for it to be at Homestead. I feel like that's probably my best racetrack. And, you know, this place isn't necessarily my best, but I feel like I've made a lot of gains the last couple times. So I've been doing a lot of studying, you know, just trying to get better at this place in general, even before the championship was here. So hopefully we can get our highpoint.com car. Obviously, hopefully in victory lane. I think that's what it's going to take to win the championship. But regardless, it's been a great season, and we're going to keep our heads high no matter what, but we're definitely going for that championship today.
You mentioned the terrific season, 9 wins. Do you have to win the title today in order for it to be a successful season, Chase?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, today, you know, the championship is so hard to win just coming down to one race, and to win 9 races in 1 year has been a really good season. So, you know, regardless of what happens today, we're going to say that it's a good year, but we definitely want to get the championship for sure.
All right, Chase, moving on. And speaking of moving on, he's moving on to the Cup Series next year. Going to drive Tony Stewart's number 14 car. So his last shot to win an Xfinity Series title is today.
Yeah, it looked like the truck was moving on, too. I didn't know if Marty was going to run alongside the truck. That's what you're waiting for. Let's keep things at the track, Brad, and talk about Chase Briscoe. You're the guy to get us fired up. Get us fired up on Chase.
Oh, needing to win that championship. He's had a good year. That's malarkey. He wants to win this championship. He has been unbelievable all year long. He's been dominant, and if you don't cap it off with a championship, it's not been a great year. I disagree with him on that. And looking at the stats, like I talked about earlier, I look for top 5 finishes for these guys in the championship 4. You look at what Chase Briscoe's done. He's won 3 of the last 10 races, but that's also the only top 5s he's had in the last 10 races. When you come to this racetrack, he does struggle a bit. He's never finished outside the top 10, but he's never finished inside the top 5. Chase Briscoe's going to have to show some mettle today if he wants to win this championship, and I think he can do it.
Yeah, it's certainly been the best year of his professional life and career to this point. What a year he's had, and he's got a cup ride to go with it for next year, as Marty was talking about. So many good things happening, but I agree with Brad. A lot of these drivers are trying to deflect that pressure there is in trying to win this championship, but the big thing is, can Chase Briscoe top this year by taking home that championship trophy this afternoon?
Well, he drives for his childhood hero, Tony Stewart, the 25-year-old, also from Indiana, Tony State. Coming up, we're going to continue to preview today's season finale at Phoenix. Plus, we'll hear from Rutledge Wood. That's next on Countdown to Green.
Hey, Chase, obviously can't be inside, so I drove the motorhome here to be outside to watch you inside. But just wanted to wish you the best of luck today. Be patient, race the race. Remember, as much as you would like to win the race itself, there's a bigger picture. Try to win the war instead. So be patient, take chances when you need to. Okay. Don't take unnecessary chances. And most of all, show these guys how us Southern Indiana boys do this. So good luck, my friend.
The boss man, Tony Stewart, wishing his driver good luck. You know who else is watching this race? Nobody more excited for championship weekend than Rutledge Wood. Rutledge, hi. Do you have a special guest joining you today?
Oh, Chris, I'm so excited. This is going to be unbelievable. First off, I love you. I'm so glad to be with you guys. Please tell Kyle and DJ I said hi in person. But today, I'm so excited. Tony Stewart is going to be joining me during the race via Zoom. So you can use that HeyRut hashtag to send any questions you might have for him. This is the first time he's been at the track in a while. He's going to be in the owner's suite, socially distanced. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some of the other owners behind his shoulder. Of course, Dale Jr. is going to be in the booth. But it looks like, guys, to me, I think he's got a shot. He thinks legitimately with Chase because Tony shaved. And we know that's a big deal. I'm going to take that as a sign. And who knows? Maybe he'll be down there in victory lane after the race. But really excited, Krista. Tony Stewart's joining me later.
All right, we look forward to watching that throughout the race. I didn't know that the beard factor is the difference in the championship. We'll have to watch. Coming up, we're going to hear from the 4th and final member of the championship contenders, Team Penske's Austin Cindric. Are you ready to win $25,000? You can with the free-to-play Finish Line app. With expert analysis and live in-race picks, your racing experience will hit the jackpot. Go to your Apple Store or Google Play and download the Finish Line app today.
We're going to have to be aggressive in our approach.
On consecutive nights, Austin Cindric will take the checkered flag.
Glad we can fight through.
Austin Cindric making history in what he is doing in this series.
It's about having one really good day.
And Austin Cindric making his first Championship 4 appearance in the Xfinity Series. So, Austin, what's the nerve level right now going for this championship?
Honestly, it's pretty low. I feel like as crazy as this year's been and as hard as we've worked as a team, if this isn't the fun part of the year, making it to the Championship 4, I don't know what's fun. So I'm not feeling any stress. Obviously, the goals here are pretty simple today, and let's get in this Menards Richmond Ford Mustang a shot to win the championship. And I'm excited, ready to have fun, and enjoy today.
You and I were talking about the Truck Series race last night and those crazy restarts. How do you balance those crazy restarts with racing against your championship foes there?
Yeah, it's difficult, especially here at the beginning of the race, because track position is going to be important here today, whether if it's on the top or the bottom. But yeah, risk reward, not getting yourself out of the game. I think not getting yourself out of the game, but also staying in the game throughout the race is really important for me today. And balancing those is what risk management's all about, I guess.
And Chris, he told me he got a cool call this week from IndyCar champion Will Power. Told him leave it all on the racetrack.
Very cool, Parker. Okay, we've heard from all 4 contenders. Our pit reporters have caught up with all of them. Kyle, anything there that Austin said that you like?
Yeah, just leave it all on the racetrack. You know what I mean? I can't believe these guys aren't a little bit nervous. Every one of them has said they're not, that they're calm, cool, and collected. But you just leave it all on the racetrack. That's the best advice anyone can give any of these guys.
Okay, so now let's get your picks. Who wins the championship, Dale?
I'm going to go with the driver that has the most experience at this, and also is the only driver of these 4 to win at Phoenix. I'm taking Justin Allgaier today.
Yeah, listen, and I love that pick. I do. I've picked Justin 2 or 3 times, but I'm going to go with the other one. I'm going to go with Haley. And I picked Justin Haley because you can't, we've talked stats, you can't see heart, you can't see that attitude, you can't see that determination. I think in this package right here, we're going to see something today.
Justin Haley drives there for owner Matt Collig. You have 4 different owners, 3 drivers in their 20s, 1 in his mid-30s. 2 are from Indiana, 1 North Carolina. The veteran is from Illinois. You have 2 Chevys, 2 Fords, 2 Justins, and in Austin. Are they all chasing Chase? The Xfinity Series Championship race is next. Which life will be changed?
Every race, every lap, every mile has led out here. 4 drivers so close to a championship they can almost reach out and touch it. The NASCAR Championship on NBC.
And when it comes to fear, you can either forget everything and run. It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And what don't kill us make us stronger. Bet that love, take a swing at us. You better hit hard, cause when we swing back, oh God. It's time to knuckle up and fight hard. Now let's all buckle up and fight hard. We can lose the battle, but we gon' win the war. I'm from the bottom, I'm that uncut, real raw. Say it with me. I believe that. Say it with me. I believe that we will win.
A championship is up for grabs here. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship on NBCSN. Phoenix Raceway, it's the Desert Diamond Casino, West Valley 200. 4 drivers with a shot. Justin Allgaier, 34 years old, is the elder. 21-year-old Justin Haley is the youngest. And then the 2 others, 22 and 25, for Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe, all looking for their first championship. Alongside our driver Jeff Burton, crew chief Steve Letarte, I'm Rick Allen. We come to a racetrack now, Phoenix Raceway, where the championship has never been determined. It's always been at Miami Speedway. So now you have a situation, Jeff, where the track comes into play. How important will it be that these drivers perform at their best at this racetrack?
Well, every one of these drivers is looking for their first championship. They're going to have to do it by having great restarts. This racetrack offers an opportunity to do some crazy things on restarts. Let's check out the truck race last night. This also was for a championship. So you got Brett Moffitt 20 seconds away on the inside line. The caution came out 20 seconds away. He's going to win the championship. It didn't work out for him. Look on the very, very bottom. That white hooded truck, that is Sheldon Creed with new tires. He is literally 5 wide on the bottom. Ends up making the pass to go on to win his first championship. Those are the kind of restarts that we're going to expect to see. And if you have an opening, you've got to take it at this racetrack. Expect to see incredible, aggressive restarts all night long.
Well, Jeff, you talk about the nerves on the restarts. The nerves don't get any better on pit road. These crew chiefs are going to have to make some very tough decisions in a short 200-lap race. There's a lot of unknowns. Will you need tires? You mentioned that restart last night. Well, it all started with a decision by Moffitt not to come to pit road. This championship could be decided whether to pit or not pit. You look at a driver like Justin Allgaier. He's gone to victory lane twice here. Had a winning car in the spring, Rick, but an untimely caution, a pit decision by his opponents are what changed the outcome of the race. I'm so excited to see the championship determined here at Phoenix, a very racy racetrack that's going to take an entire team effort.
Jeff, can you be too aggressive on those restarts? Can an aggressive restart take you out of this championship hunt?
Well, it certainly can, Rick, and I think that's where the drivers are going to have to be smart. You have to understand this is a short race, but one mistake can end your night. You're going to have to push the issue if you're going to win a championship, but if you push it too far, you certainly get yourself in trouble.
And Rick, remember, a championship's on the line, but you don't have to win the race. Beat your other 3 championship 4, and you're the champion.
First one to the finish line of the championship 4 wins the title. It's time for pre-race ceremonies. Let's go trackside now.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as the chaplain of the Avondale Fire and Medical Department, Rich DeMonte, offers today's invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to be here today. We ask your blessings upon our nation, Lord. And today we pray for the safety of all the drivers, the crews, and everyone who's here to protect us, Lord. Fire, police, EMS, and hospital care workers across America. And Lord, lastly, we ask that you show us how to live by your words, to love one another as you have loved us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem is Arizona's own national country music singer and songwriter, Ashley Wineland.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets crackling, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The command to fire engines on the championship race is just moments away. We'll be right back for it.
I became a race car driver because I loved racing. I love the sport.
Anybody that's close to me knows how much it means to me to just get a chance to race in NASCAR, let alone get a chance to race for a championship.
Teams rallied behind each other and boosted each other to be able to be better.
This weekend is the biggest weekend of my racing career, and pretty much everyone on the 22 team, it's the biggest weekend in their racing careers.
I can promise you that all the guys from the 7 team are ready, they're excited, and they want this as bad as anybody right now.
I do feel like I know what I need out of my car. I think we're going to have to be aggressive in our approach.
Over the Xfinity Series, I've been disappointed, I've been happy. I put everything into this.
The determination, you see that in all champions. They're going to get it done, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get it done.
200 miles to find out who will get it done and be the champion. For more of the storylines on these Championship 4, let's start with Kelly Steps.
At just 21 years old, Justin Haley is the youngest and least experienced amongst the Championship 4. And even though he's got 3 wins already this season, he told me he often feels overlooked and underestimated. He's also a bit of an enigma. He's not big on social media and prefers to keep his private life, well, private. He told me he'll do his talking out on the racetrack. One quick note, it will not be his usual pit crew on the 11. Instead, it will be the number 43 Cup pit crew who comes here fresh off a championship win last night in the Truck Series. Parker.
Well, Kelly, at just 22 years old, Austin Cindric has an incredibly diverse racing resume. Open wheel cars, sports cars, rally cars, and of course, NASCAR. And on a day he says is the biggest of his racing career, he's going to have to take lessons and tools from all those disciplines to go get his first NASCAR championship, Marty.
Parker, when did Chase Briscoe start preparing for this championship race? Well, how about a year ago this weekend in Phoenix last year, Chase spent the entire weekend with Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childers getting every little piece of information and help he could. That information flow continued until this morning. Chase Briscoe trying to take one of his most difficult tracks and turn it into a championship track, Dave.
This week when we asked Justin Allgaier why he could be perceived as the favorite here this weekend, he told us because I'm old. He laughed. But at age 34, he's got 9 years on the next oldest competitor, and he's been to the championship four times. If he wins it today, it's probably going to be because of Phoenix Raceway, the track that they used to go for the championship, not his best. This one of his very best. We'll see if he can get it done today. Time to crank the engines in the Xfinity Series Championship 4 here in Phoenix.
Now joining us to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome City of Avondale Mayor Ken Weiss.
Avondale, get ready to feel the power. Drivers, start your engines.
All 4 of the Championship 4 drivers feel like they have the ability to win. Who will win the championship tonight?
We can lose the battle, but we gon' win the war. I'm from the bottom, I'm that
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. It's perfect for race fans. And by Toyota. Car starting to roll off of pit road, and out in front of the field, the official pace car is the 2020 Toyota GR Supra. And we'll watch these cars roll off of pit road, take a look at the starting grid. Top 4, the top 4 in the Championship 4. There's 37 drivers that are on the track, just like every week, but only 4 have a shot at the championship. Allgaier, Briscoe, Cindric, and Haley all starting in the first 2 rows. And Harrison Burton back there in row 3, probably the hottest drivers, won the last 2 races.
Yeah, hard to believe. Ross Chastain starting right behind Harrison Burton is winless. That's such a great year. Winless this season. A ton of seconds. I think he's got to watch. Brett Moffitt, row 6. Heartbreaking loss last night, was leading the truck race with a chance at a championship. The last green-white checker cost him. You see Myatt Snyder there in row 8.
Daniel Hemrick was just behind him in row 9. Jeffrey Earnhardt will be in row 11 as we continue on through the field. Jesse Iwuji back there in row 18 in that 99 car. Rutledge Wood is enjoying this race from home and is going to help us out with today's broadcast. As a matter of fact, he actually will start us off on a little deeper look into the Championship 4. Right, Rut?
That's right, Rick. I sure wish I was there with you guys, but let's talk about those championship 4. How about Justin Haley in that 11 car? He's the youngest driver among the championship 4 at 21 years old. Second season in Xfinity, both with Kaulig Racing. He's got 3 wins this season with 2 runner-ups. That's huge. He, his team, his crew chief, Alan Yance, they are ready for today. And if you're all about rooting for the underdog, Justin is your guy, Steve.
Well, from the young underdog to perhaps the favorite, the most veteran, Justin Allgaier, 34 years old, in his 10th full-time season of Xfinity Series racing, all 10 years with Rick Brandt and Brandt on the side of his race car. He's made the championship 4 the last 3 years. This will make 4. But those times when I talked to him, he said, I was appreciative of the opportunity, but Miami never fit my style, never fit my eye. Coming here to Phoenix when we spoke to him this week, couldn't be more confident. 2 wins at this racetrack, and perhaps more importantly, Jeff, both wins with his crew chief, Jason Burdett. So this duo knows how to win in the desert.
I want to talk about Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe in his 2nd season with Stewart-Haas Racing. Think about this guy. He put near impossible goals on himself coming into this season. He surpassed all of them. And what did he get for it? He got a cup ride, going cup racing next year. A driver's dream. Now he's racing for his first championship. Let's see if he can cap off this historic year with a championship.
Another young driver that's fighting for his first championship is the driver, the 22 and only 22 years old, is Austin Cindric. He's in his 3rd season in the Xfinity Series. He will have a 4th season. It's been announced that he will take over the number 21 ride in the Cup Series in 2022. 7 career wins, 5 have come this season, and those 5 races came in a span of 6 races. 5 wins, 6 races. He's been on a roll. He wants to finish it off with a championship here in 2020. We've mentioned a little bit about Justin Haley's pit crew. We want to take a look at a statement from Chip Ganassi Racing following a positive COVID-19 test for one member of the number 42 pit crew, and in keeping with contact tracing and quarantine procedures, the number 42 pit crew did not travel to Phoenix this weekend. For Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race, one of Chip Ganassi Racing's backup crews will pit the number 42. Additionally, the 42 team, which pits Justin Haley's number 11 Chevrolet in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, will be inactive for that race as well. Kelly.
And so, as we mentioned, it's actually Bubba Wallace's pit crew, the number 43 on the Cup side, that will be crewing for Justin Haley. And they won the Truck Series championship last night as the pit crew for Sheldon Creed. And there are a lot of similarities. They're 2 pit stalls down from where they were last night, but still the first car coming on pit in, so a similar look. This pit crew also worked on the number 16 Kaulig Racing, which was driven by A.J. Allmendinger on a part-time basis this season. A.J. sang their praises, saying they are incredibly consistent. They don't make many mistakes. Chris Rice, the team president, told me these guys came in jacked up after their win last night. They are ready to keep that momentum going again today, and you can feel it out of this pit crew here.
Yeah, big call by Alex Yance, the crew chief right there, and Chris Rice, the president of Kaulig Racing. They had the opportunity to go get the 1 Cup car pit crew, because that's who does Chastain, the 2nd car out of Kaulig Racing. He said, you know what, Ross has a lot to race for. I have the confidence in this group of guys. These are the guys we're going to put on the racetrack today, and we'll have to see how it plays out. Last night, they came to pit road, they did their job, and it worked. They won a championship. To think, Rick, they didn't even know they were going to get a chance at 2, and here they could go 2 championships in 2 races.
We want to listen in to radio communication of both the 11 and 98 teams. We'll start with the 11.
It's been a pleasure the last few years. Our 2nd opportunity to championship together. Let's go get it. Anything can happen here. You know, it changed quickly last night, so if things aren't going our way early, just stay with it. We will get it better. You got one of the best cars you had all year. It's been under you now. Let's go get us another one, buddy.
Have fun, man. Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Do what we do. So we can do. We all want that big trophy, but regardless, it's been a hell of a year for all of us. Chase, I've learned so much from you. I'm proud of you, man. Let's go out on top and get this thing.
For that, you're a normal deal, guys. Won the most all year long. Let's prove it once again.
Steve, you referenced it, a short race. There'll be a caution at lap 20. There hasn't been practice. There hasn't been qualifying. It's been a crazy year, but compliment NASCAR on getting to this point. We knew the championship was going to be here at Phoenix. They've made it happen.
It's amazing to be standing here in Phoenix knowing we're going to see a champion in the Xfinity Series today. You mentioned the short race. Well, Jeff, it fires off right away. You talked about the starts, the restarts, the initial start. This isn't a track that you tiptoe in. Green flag, we're going to see 4 and 5 wide.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to take advantage. We're going to see immediately these drivers dropping below that yellow line, using the apron. It's going to be 3-4 wide right off the start. Championship battle is going to start right now.
Who will do it? Who will finish in front of the other 3 to win the championship? Their first Xfinity Series championship is in front of them. Green flag is in the air. Right away, they dive to the bottom of the racetrack. There's no out of bounds here in Phoenix. Allgaier with the lead. Cindric in the yellow number 22 working to the inside. Chase Briscoe on the outside of the 98. What's the advantage, Jeff, of going down there on the apron?
Well, so right now they're just trying to make the shortest way around the racetrack. But you see Chase Briscoe making his top lane work. Look at this very dark part of the racetrack. Traction compound applied to the racetracks, worked all weekend long. He's not in it yet, but making that second groove work.
And a caution has come out early. The 0 is stopped on the racetrack. Jeffrey Earnhardt.
You see some damage to the right rear quarter panel, the tail hanging off. Obviously pretty heavy contact right front as well. That's over on the back stretch.
The car just cut off.
Jeffrey, Kerry Earnhardt's son.
Stumbled twice and then just died.
Nephew to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Said it stumbled twice and died, so we'll have to see a replay, Jeff. Maybe the car died and somebody get into it. Let's take a look exactly what happened.
You see way in the back, yeah, that's what happened. Car just slowed down. He said it stumbled and then it shut off.
I think that's a 74 of Bailey Curry that ran into him. It was hard to tell from that angle, but you don't expect the car to just shut off right there in the straightaway. Nowhere to go.
Quick caution happens, which means another restart. On this partly cloudy Saturday in Avondale, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. Pretty good views from up above, thanks to Geico bringing us our aerial coverage. And pretty good views also on pit road. We bring in all of our broadcast partners. Where are you down there, Brad? Brad Doherty, co-owner for a Cup team and part of this broadcast.
Hey, it's really, the wind is gusting down here, guys, up to about 25 miles an hour. And I noticed going into turn 1, as the 98 and 22 slammed down off of the banking into the apron, there was a ton of dust, dirt, whatever it is, that flew up. I don't know if that'll be a factor as we go throughout the day, but they're having a tough time keeping the sand off the racetrack.
Well, stay protected down there, Brad. He's got a pretty good view from down on pit road as they go 2x2 once again. The choose role, very important here at the track also.
Yeah, you can choose the inside or the outside lane, not just the leader like it used to be in years past. In 2020, Jeff, everyone in the field gets to choose what lane they want to restart in.
Oh, some interesting scenarios. See how aggressive they get on this restart.
Noah Gragson in the 9 has been able to get past that 11 into the 4th spot. And they're aggressive. 3-4 wide already as they dive into turn 1.
22 of Cindric clears Allgaier down the straightaway basically, but Allgaier back inside, 3 wide on corner exit.
The 98, here comes Chase Briscoe. Briscoe has the lead on the high side. New leader in Phoenix, Chase Briscoe. Then it's Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson back there in the 4th position, and running 5th. Ross Chastain. Justin Haley has fallen back to the 6th position.
Justin Haley may lose another spot right here.
Harrison Burton in the 20 has moved up. He follows Ross Chastain in that 10, so Harrison Burton in the 20 just in front of Haley.
Not the start Justin Haley wanted to see. Ross Chastain in that second groove. Justin Haley, remember how fast he was at Richmond, guys? He had incredible speed. This is that same car. See what he's doing. Going up, looking for that traction compound. That's where Briscoe is as well.
Cindric's been running right along that yellow line as we ride along with him in the Verizon onboard, giving us a great shot of Chase Briscoe up in front of Austin Cindric.
Briscoe missed the groove right there. He missed the bottom. If you're going to run the bottom, you got to put the left side tires right on that yellow line in 1 and 2. He missed it by about a foot. Got to be precise at this racetrack.
Look at the options, Rick. You love a racetrack that provides options for the drivers. The 98, 2 lanes up into the sticky stuff, the traction compound, the 22 right around the bottom. Both cars go through the corner very well. Another thing we love about Phoenix is the differences. This down here, a lot more bankings in turn 3 and 4. It's going to take a little bit different handling, a little bit different setup. You go down the front stretch, you go to 1 and 2, a much flatter set of corners.
And throw that dog leg in there right on the front stretch. Parker.
Well, guys, as we watch Austin Cindric here trying to get by Chase Briscoe, you know, earlier this year when we raced here in March, Austin told me that 22 car was really good when the bottom was the place to be. But when that PJ1 came in, it became the dominant line to be in. They started to lose the handle of that 22 car. Coming here this time, they put a lot of emphasis in trying to make that car be better than PJ1. But obviously right now having a lot of speed on the bottom outside of it.
Parker, same story for Chase Briscoe up front, trying to hold on to the lead. He knows Phoenix is not his best racetrack. So what do? You use your resources. At Stewart-Haas Racing, they have Kevin Harvick. They have Rodney Childers. This is one of Kevin Harvick's best racetracks. So Chase Briscoe has been wearing out Kevin Harvick's phone, trying to get all the information he could. Obviously, it's helping Briscoe able to keep it up front, Rick.
Briscoe taking the shortcut there. Once again, no out of bounds here. And now the 22 of Austin Cindric trying to make that bottom line work for him. And we've seen guys go all the way to the apron through 1 and 2 before to shorten this racetrack. Look at Chase Briscoe, 1,000 laps led. What a career it has been already for Briscoe. He's going to move on. He'll drive the number 14 for Stewart-Haas Racing next season in the Cup Series. So he said that it was going to take 8 wins at the very beginning of the season. He put that number up there for himself, saying, I've got to be able to get at least 8 wins. That's going to get me a Cup ride. Well, Tony Stewart sat him down at a dinner table, had all of his closest friends with him, and he delivered the news. Next year, you'll be in a Cup car. It was pretty big news for Chase Briscoe.
What a great way to do it. You mentioned they race everywhere. I don't know what it costs to pave a racetrack, but Jeff, Phoenix has got their money worth out of every square foot of asphalt because these drivers use it both on the dog leg and in the corners. This is like the Phoenix of old, way up the corner.
Yeah, great battle here for the lead. Cindric's going to turn underneath Briscoe off turn 2. Now a battle to the bottom. Let's see if Briscoe can make that top work. Cindric just trying to paint that yellow line.
He missed it a little bit. They're side by side. Still, Briscoe in the 98 has the advantage, but here comes Cindric putting a lot of pressure on him. Again, there'll be a competition caution at or around lap 20.
To that end of the racetrack, that upper groove is going to work on corner exit really well. The bottom groove, you're going to be able to make up ground in the middle of the corner. Same on this end. This track's going to change all day long, though, Steve.
Yeah, the crew chiefs and drivers are going to have to come up with a plan. What adjustments do you need? Where's your car the best? Not just as the track changes, but as the run and the tires get older. It's the 98 in the wall.
Into the wall. Here comes the 22. Cindric trying to take advantage of the mistake.
He's looking for more grip. Cindric's got good forward momentum on him this time. This time, Cindric more disciplined on the bottom of the racetrack.
Once again, door to door as they cross the stripe. Briscoe still shown as the leader. Now Cindric turns down a little earlier, but he's got lap traffic in front of him. The fight for the lead continues, and the championship's on the line.
These two guys, I think it's fair to say, have been the fastest 2 cars, fastest 2 drivers all year long, continuing today.
14 wins between the 2 of these drivers. 9 for Briscoe, 5 for Austin Cindric. And Briscoe once again pulling out in front. He's been up high here. Car got away from him last time around.
So, Jeff, we saw the 98 get a little too high and into the wall. You think that's some of that dirt and dust that Brad mentioned blowing around? You've been out here to test. This is one of the hardest racetracks to keep clean. It looked like the 98. As he got up the racetrack, the dust blew. He just got out of the cleaned-off groove.
Yeah, this racetrack gets very, very dirty. We're out here in the desert. The wind's blowing big time. All that sand's blowing onto the racetrack. Yeah, I think I think Briscoe, that dirt track mentality, right? Just going, looking for more grip somewhere, got himself in trouble. Don't know how much damage there is to the car, though.
See Austin Cindric.
All good. I can't even see a mark.
He runs up high, and when he does, he gets the advantage on Briscoe. We'll see if he'll take advantage of it here. So we're sure that the caution will be coming out here momentarily.
Yellow's out. Yellow's out.
And there it is. What a battle these two have already put on the first 20 laps of this race.
You can see he drives in the corner. You can see the black, how dark it is. Chase just looking for a little more grip. Carrying a little bit too much speed in there. Gets it with the right rear quarter panel, Steve.
Yeah, well behind the tire. Didn't hit a tire. That would be my concern. These Xfinity Series bodies are a composite material. They're not metal, so they actually hold their shape very, very well. I don't see where it caught the spoiler, moved the deck lid. I'll call it no damage on the 98. So if you got to make wall contact, I guess this is how you should do it. Marty.
And see, they said the right rear perfectly fine on the 98, and Chase Briscoe said the car just a little bit too loose for his liking. And yeah, you look at that right rear, it looks clean from here, but clearly there was a little bit of contact there. But Briscoe saying the car is so loose right now. But Richard Boswell, his crew chief, on the screen right there saying, hey, that's what we need early in this race, because later in the run, that'll pay off for us, Dave.
Early leader Justin Allgaier has fallen back to third place, fell back there right on the resumption of the race. He radioed his team and said, you know what, that was a great restart, but I was behind by turn one. We're just getting outmotored right now. Those Fords look strong today, guys.
So when the competition caution came out, that means that someone's going to get a free pass. This time it goes to Stan Mullis in the 66, the 51-year-old from Las Vegas, Nevada, actually making his first Xfinity Series start this season.
Steve, you're talking about the contact with the 98 car. You know, with these Xfinity cars, you're generally okay if you don't hit it with the right front, right? If you're going to hit it with the right rear. That seems to be okay. When you hit it with the front, that seems to be where the problem starts. So if you have to hit the wall, and looking at the car,
yeah,
you hardly see any damage at all.
He didn't even scrape the decals. I mean, he did a nice job. So, Rick, we mentioned at the top of the show, limited amount of Goodyear tires here for the Xfinity Series. 4 sets in the pits to run this. So, in my mind, you break it down. A set after stage 1, a set after stage 2. That long stage 3, over 100 laps. You're going to want a couple sets to manage in case you get yellows. For that reason, I don't expect the front runners to pit here. If someone does pit, I think it's purely for an adjustment. No one wants to use up a set of valuable Goodyear tires this early in the race.
Goodyears are valuable for this championship run and the possibility of winning the last race of the season. A different venue. It's normally been by the beach in Miami. This year it's in the desert in Phoenix. NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can follow your favorite drivers by selecting up to 8 different high-definition cameras. Just visit NASCAR.com/drive, or you can download the mobile app today. Chase Briscoe said this about his fellow Ford Mustang driver, Austin Cindric, and how they're going to race each other.
I know how Austin is going to be. You know, he's going to try to win the championship, and I'm going to try to win the championship. So, you know, to me, yeah, we might be friends off the racetrack, but I think anybody, at least he would agree more than anybody, that I feel like on the racetrack, we probably race each other harder than anybody else. So just knowing that, you know, going into it, you know that some feelings might be hurt, but at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you and your team. So you just know that going in.
And to put some context to that soundbite, you got to realize that Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric off the track are the best of friends. They were in the same Truck Series program together, the same Xfinity Series program together when they started. They are racing each other extremely tight for a championship. You know, Jeff, you can be best friends, but race each other for a title. I wonder how long you stay best friends out on the track, though.
Yeah, Marty, I just, you know, you can respect each other on the track, but ultimately, this is a self-serving sport, and this is a very self-serving situation, an opportunity to win a championship at one of the race's highest discipline. So these guys are going to go at it and going to go at each other. We've seen it all year long. They don't mind going at each other. They're very aggressive racing.
Jeff, does it surprise you at all that Austin Cindric chose that high line? He's actually lining up behind Briscoe as opposed to choosing the inside. He could have chose the inside line.
I'm surprised Briscoe chose the outside line also.
So Briscoe and Cindric choosing the high line. Down on the bottom, it's Justin Allgaier as they come back through the restart zone.
Watch that 7 car. Watch him turn left. Going to shorten up the distance, trying to get to turn 1 as quickly as he can. He's actually in front of the 98 right now. Let's see if the bottom works, though.
A little bit of a shove there from the 22 to the 98. Now that high line working once again for Briscoe. Does it work for Cindric?
That's why they picked the top. It wasn't because of what would happen in turn, on the launch. It was what would happen in turn 1. They wanted that outside momentum.
It worked out. They're both 1 and 2 still, but Justin Allgaier not laying over in that 7. He's still fighting on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, and even further behind, guys that lined up on the bottom, it did not work for them. They all lost spots.
Caution back out on the track, and 2 cars turned around in turns 1 and 2. See the 61 and the 5. The 5 driven by Matt Mills and J.J. Yaley behind the 61. Also,
2 weeks in a row. Try and get it.
So I don't want to confirm what happened here, but I bet if we watch the restart, in the very front of the pack, Noah Gragson was trying to get into a spot. He slid up in front of everybody and checked the entire lineup. I don't know if that catapult went all the way back and caused this wreck, but Noah trying to get into that top lane really slowed everybody up.
You see the AMR safety team on the track right away. The 93 of CJ McLaughlin still stopped. They're tending to him. And Donald Teach in the 90 from Quebec, Canada. Just his 2nd start in the Xfinity Series this season. His last race was the last race in Martinsville. Take another look at what happened.
So you mentioned the 9 of Gragson was the car you were looking at about trying to slide up in line. That's that silver and black with the orange 9 kind of middle right there.
Yeah, this lap right here, everything is fine. You can see the bottom just not working, but if we continue it on all the way to the next time they run through 1 and 2 is when he just pulled a slide job, right? Something we're starting to see in asphalt racing, just trying to make your line, get a spot. You can see where he's stuck on the bottom right there, back of the screen, right, very back of the screen, losing spots on the bottom. He drives deep in the corner. Not going to have it. And certainly this was not caused by that stack up. Just contact into 1.
And 2 separate instances that we saw there. Cars around. So it brings the caution out, which once again the drivers now have to choose either the high line or the low line. We saw 1 and 2 the last time by. They chose the high line. Again, the AMR safety crew continue to work on that 93, but we'll have another restart. 45 laps will end stage 1, 30 already complete. Such a big weekend on NBC. Tomorrow, Sunday Night Football. 2 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks are going to go head-to-head. Drew Brees and the Saints, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And coverage starting at 7 p.m. Eastern with Football Night in America. That will be after the Cup Championship is decided here at Phoenix.
I know what I'll be doing.
All right, Jeff, take another look at this. This is what you're talking about, right, with Noah?
Yeah, Noah he drives in the corner, overdrives the corner. This is something we're seeing in asphalt racing. We've seen it in dirt racing forever. A slide job, just slides up in front of him, then has to check up to keep in line, and then Justin turns underneath him. And they weren't happy with each other. This is after, this was after the caution, and they were still going at it. And you gotta, Justin has a lot to lose. Noah very little to lose, right? Justin racing for a championship. Kelly, what are you hearing from the 11?
Yeah, well, it got pretty animated on the radio right after that. Have a listen.
I'm getting to the match with him now. See, now we're right front off. Damn it. let's keep working on it, dude. It's good. Sorry I got pissed, but we can't shoot ourselves in the foot here racing with somebody like him, you know what I'm saying? All good.
So they had another look at the cars, decided there really wasn't any damage, but there is a point to be made there. They said you got to pick and choose your battles. Obviously, Justin has a lot more to lose than Noah Gragson does. Noah, of course, out of the championship, just going for the win.
Yeah, that's right. And that conversation, the guy that got mad there was Kevin Hamlin, the spotter. Right? The driver kind of had to calm the spotter down a little bit.
Oh, man.
Marty, how about the 98? Is there an issue there with this team?
Well, I think there's a couple of concerns when they come down pit road, Rick. There were a number of drivers and crews that were saying, hey, they felt like the pace car at the beginning of the race had a different pace and different speed than he should have had, and it wasn't exactly pit road speed. So they're a little concerned on the 98. And Steve, you can dive into this, that when they come to pit road, his lights on his tachometer will not be right. So it will be a little bit of a guessing game for Chase Briscoe to make sure he doesn't speed when he comes to pit road.
So real quick, lights on a tachometer. Jeff, no speedometer in these Xfinity Series cars. You have basically a graduating light system. They can climb, 3, 4, 5 green lights or yellow lights, red lights. If you're way off, then you kind of have to guess. You better guess too slow. In only a 200-lap race, you don't want to go to the back of the field.
And you hope you'll come in on pit road leading, Steve, because if you're leading, even if you got to go slow, you're dragging everybody back to your speed. It won't be quite a disadvantage.
Getting ready for the restart once again. As we look back, that Hunt Brothers pizza camera looking back on Briscoe. And back through the restart zone, coming up on just 11 laps remaining in stage 1. Great launch for the 7 of Allgaier this time.
Look at behind him every time. Hold my breath as they go down into turn 1. I can't believe they work it out as often as they do.
Allgaier's going to slide up into second ahead of the 22. So now Cindric back there in third, 3 wide for the 6th position.
Yeah, on the top of that 3 wide, Justin Haley, one of the championship 4s. We're right on board with Cindric right there. Look at this, 3 wide. You mentioned it. 2 on the racetrack. Well, now maybe 1. Harrison Burton all the way at the bottom. That shortcut will let the 20 of Harrison Burton be the first to the corner, but the top lane was work for the 11 of Haley. He'll carry the momentum on corner exit.
It's amazing how well this top lane is working. Between last night's truck race and today, this is how much it switched. This bottom was by far the way to go. Now it's the top.
One of the other things that comes into play for the championship 4, points don't matter. So there won't be any points given at the end of stage 1 or stage 2. All that matters is you finish in front of the other competitors.
We talked with Austin Cindric this week, and he said something very interesting. He goes, I am so sick of points racing. I've been points racing to make it to this race. He said last week was nerve-wracking because of the points. He was refreshed that was the system. I thought it was interesting out of a young driver. He's so used to this format that he's looking for a win. As we see an aggressive move by the 7 of Allgaier to the bottom. Will he be able to complete the pass on Briscoe?
Whoa, really loose for the 7 car.
Yeah, back in sliding around for Justin Allgaier as he's able to handle it, but did it leave an opening? No. Cindric can't get into that opening. All 3 of the top 3 running up in that traction compound, and now Cindric with a pretty good run on the 7.
I think you're riding along with his Verizon cam. I think you're riding on with the fastest race car. He just hasn't been able to get track position. Restarts haven't worked out for him, but I think this 22 car is the fastest race car on a racetrack.
Patience. Isn't that what he said, Jeff? I was shocked at the maturity of Austin Cindric, the driver of the 22, who's only 22 years old. After he had that comment about points racing and all that, he said, you know what? I know it's a 200-lap race. It may seem short, but I have a lot of confidence that I can be patient. I know how these races unfold. I can be patient in stage 1, patient in stage 2. He knows he has that 110-lap final stage, and here he is in third, Jeff, which I agree with you, one of the fastest race cars, but being very patient with Allgaier, picking and choosing his time.
And Steve, Austin would agree with Jeff because we're around, 6 laps to go here in stage 1. The only thing he said on the radio was pretty good piece, eh, Wilson? Referencing to his crew chief, Brian Wilson, that this car is very fast. A lot of confidence in the 22 team.
And you see Chase Briscoe up front. All of these lead cars, Jeff, they're using that traction compound right now as we come to the end of stage one. But the traction compound on the track, that darker surface, tends to wear out as Cindric tries to get around the 7 car for second place. So how do you manage your car if you know that traction compound? It's good now. It may not be that good at the end of the race.
Well, you do exactly what Austin Cindric did right there. He made the move on Allgaier. Then he did that slide job and got that outside lane. Now, even though he didn't clear Justin, now he has the preferred lane. Now he just has to stay side by side with him, right? And now he has the advantage. So that move into turn 1, it looked like he gained the spot, right? He got really slow in the middle. Allgaier crossed him over. But what it did was it gave the 22 the preferred lane in 1 and 2, and that's when he made the pass.
Basically, Jeff, what you're saying is a pass doesn't happen at one end of the racetrack. It takes an entire lap. One end, you get where you want, and then the other end, you basically finish the pass. Is that right?
That's right. It's a battle for the position, and the position is to get on the outside of that guy. Even if it slows you down for that lap, it just takes the position away from him and gives you the preferred one.
Top 3 Championship 4 competitors running 1, 2, and 3. Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, and Justin Allgaier.
So now as we come to 2 to go, set the stage for these 3 cars. In 98 of Briscoe, he's been leading, feels pretty good about his car. His crew chief's going to have to let him know what kind of speed he sees out of the 22 so they make the type of adjustments size-wise that they need. The 7 of Allgaier, the advantage to him right now is he looks out the window and goes, I know I'm not as good as those 2. Let's start making adjustments. We're only going to have 2 or 3 shots. Probably the biggest challenge will be for the 22 who has the best car. If they have the best, Jeff, are they willing to adjust on it to keep up with the racetrack? Only time would tell. One more lap in this stage.
Briscoe's been dominant in stage 1. 37 of the 44 laps have been led by Briscoe. Can he lead the last one? Take a look at this move. Cindric to the inside, trying to steal the stage 1 win away.
Really slow car in front of him.
They're going to split him through the middle, and on the high side, momentum pays off. Briscoe is going to win stage 1. 13th stage win of this season, 8th in the playoffs already. Both of those number the most of any of the Xfinity Series drivers. So Chase Briscoe won stage 1.
It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And what don't kill us make us stronger, boy. Bet that up, take a swing at us. You better hit hard, cause when we swing back, it's like, oh God, it's time to knuckle up and fight hard. Now let's
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. And you see the city of Avondale painted a large NASCAR Championship Weekend logo on the grounds of their newest Park Festival Fields, which is just a few miles from the track, and recently underwent $19 million in renovations. The city of Avondale has been tremendous in their help and support of the NASCAR Championships here at Phoenix Raceway. Thanks to the city for all they have done for this championship. Listen into Chase Briscoe's radio here.
I don't know what we had going on with our lights, but the 22, he went down as well, and he still passed us.
Solid on the straight.
4 solid.
Tires, you're going to run 7 lights, and you're going to run low in the corner, low as you feel comfortable running.
So they're coming onto pit road, Steve, and they're talking about speeding, right?
Yeah, that's the story Marty was talking about. They're a little unsure of their pit setting. We'll have to see if it affects them on this pit stop. Kelly.
Justin Haley has the first pit box at pit entry. He said his car was good on corner entry, but then just too tight through the middle. He needs more rotation. There's a chassis adjustment, 4 Goodyear tires for Justin Haley in this 11-team partner.
And the answer to your question, Steve, for Austin Cindric in the 22 car, Brian Wilson elected to make no changes right now. Very happy that 22 being pitted by the 2 team. They'll pit for Brad Keselowski tomorrow, Marty.
All of that discussion to make sure Chase Briscoe, bottom left of your screen, did not speed coming down pit road. You see the wedge adjustment in the back of the car. It was way too free. They also switched to radio 2. They're having problems with the radio, Dave.
Justin Allgaier came in 3rd. He gave him a long explanation that said basically as it boiled down, he could not put the gas down and turn at the same time. The race off was pretty jammed there, guys. Looks like Allgaier got it.
Yeah, it was really tight. Allgaier got it, but I noticed Gragson slamming on the brakes as he came to that line as well. Stage 1 is complete of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. Desert Diamond Casino West Valley 200 from Phoenix Raceway. And now let's go to Rutledge Wood. And Rutt, I believe you've got a pretty special guest. I'm going to call him a Hall of Famer.
That's right. Yeah, so cool our friend Tony Stewart could join us today. Tony, thank you so much for taking the time, buddy. I know you're up in one of the owner's suites. You're socially distanced. But, man, exciting to have you back at the track. We're watching your driver, Chase Briscoe, up front. Are you nervous at all right now?
Hell yeah, I'm nervous. I'm not driving the car, so I'm always nervous when I'm not driving the car. But Chase is doing an awesome job, and hopefully we've given him a car to do what he does best, and that's go out and win today. So these top three guys right now are tough, and it's going to be one of those days that you aren't going to be able to make mistakes, and you're going to have to get absolutely everything out of everything that you do today. So it's going to be pretty intense.
We've been using the hashtag #HeyRut. Fans have been asking questions. What kind of advice did you give Chase? Because I certainly know he was asking you about Phoenix and about today.
I said, don't screw up. So, no, it's, they had an ARCA race earlier today. So, we talked about not getting too worried if the balance didn't feel good at the start of the race because of the different rubber that was on the racetrack. And really just kind of race the race. I mean, it's a race within a race. I mean, you're only racing really three other guys on the racetrack. So it's a matter of every one of those guys that aren't those three, you got to realize that they're on a totally different agenda than what he's on today. So you have to be careful. You have to not put yourself in any bad positions, and you have to not make mistakes. And, he got really close to having a big one early there, which is exactly why we had that conversation. This is a tough deal for these guys to sit there and be put in this position of having, guys that are right behind you that you are racing for a championship. So you can't give anything away, but you can't make mistakes early and take yourself out of it as well.
Well, thanks for joining us, buddy. Rick, we're going to be back with Tony Stewart later. I know we got a restart coming. It's going to be exciting, buddy.
I know Tony must be close to us. He's up here in a suite somewhere. Interesting for Briscoe and that pit stop.
So we heard the communication, the concern about the pit road light setting and how fast he was going to be able to go. Jeff, look at this. So much concern. He turns to the left. The 7 of Allgaier, the 9 of Gragson are basically able to pass the 98 coming down pit road. Totally legal. You cannot pass to the left, but you are allowed to pass to the right. That's how much he was off on his pace.
And a missed opportunity for Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric pitted running second and came out 5th when you had a car going slow down pit road. So a missed opportunity for that 22 pit crew.
Tommy Joe Martins is in the 44. He was on pit road on lap 23. He stayed out at the end of stage 1. That's why he's the race leader. Spins the tires there a little bit. Let's see what Justin Allgaier can do with it. Allgaier on the outside, and they fanned out down below him. Here comes Briscoe. Right away, tries to take the lead away up in front of the 7. He will lead as they come out of turn 2.
Allgaier's not done fighting, though. This bottom with new tires could work really well.
Well, he'll slide up the racetrack.
My goodness.
Slide job for Allgaier. He takes the lead back. Now fighting back on the inside. Here comes Briscoe again.
Way up the racetrack.
This track has turned into such a great balance of grip on the bottom versus the top. Jeff, 10 years ago, that was a wreck. If you missed the bottom that far, you would absolutely wreck. But this dark area just gives these drivers that extra bit of grip up there, allows them to really attack the entries.
Yeah, they don't mind using it either. They don't mind just using every inch of the racetrack. They're going to keep that up. It's only going to get more aggressive if this thing goes on as well.
That was a great shot from the Unilever United for America camera. We were able to look back on that 98 and see where he was running. So Allgaier's out front now, and this is the first time he's been leading many laps. He's got 11 laps led already. But Allgaier has been the other one that has been battling up there with the 98. And remember, Austin Cindric, who was fighting for the top 2 spots, he's now back in 4th. So Noah Gragson's up to 3rd. Cindric is 4th. And Michael Annett has broken into the top 5.
Yeah, Michael Annett took advantage of that choose rule. Picked up like 4 spots by running the bottom lane and took advantage of that on the restart. That's how he's gotten this spot. But Look at the 22 of Cindric. He's going to work hard on the bottom of the racetrack. It's going to be hard on his tires. Remember, didn't have a good pit stop, lost some spots.
How aggressive will Noah Gragson be? I guess that's a rhetorical question in the sense that we've seen him be aggressive all year long. But Noah Gragson, he's racing against guys that are in the championship 4, but at the same time, he's looking out for himself.
Yeah, you know, we had this conversation this week, Jeff, you and I, you know, in the Cup Series, I expect the older, more veteran drivers to perhaps give a little way to those championship 4. But in the Xfinity Series, these are young drivers trying to prove themselves, looking for opportunity. We know Noah Gragson will be back at Junior Motorsports, but his owner, Dale Jr., wants to see him drive that 9 as hard as he can. Bass Pro Shops is on the hood. All his partners want him to go out there and try to win. Now, you don't want to be part of the story. You don't want to contact the championship 4, but Noah's going to have to manage that. Dave.
And talking with crew chief Dave Ellens on that 9 car this morning, he said it's been tough here in the playoffs being not in the championship 4 because we've been running so well lately. So many times this year they could have said that and expected wins and just didn't get them, but they thought they would be good here today. And of course Noah back for 2021 and this whole team showing what they can do. Meanwhile, his teammate up front, Justin Allgaier, remember the first part of that run, he was not running up in the PJ1 sticky stuff. He is now. He said to his team before the pit stop, I can't do what they're doing. A small air pressure adjustment fixed that for the 7 car, and you'll notice in addition to leading, he's running up in that high line now.
And pulling away.
Well, that's what we talked about. Not only has Justin Allgaier won here twice, but he has done it with this crew chief, Jason Burdett. So those mid-race adjustments, it's one thing to read a report or to read your notes. It's another thing to be the guy who made the adjustments. Those stick in your brain as a crew chief, Rick. When you make the right adjustment and it works, you don't forget about those. These guys brought this Richmond car and won Richmond. They put it to the side. They said, you know what? We normally don't do that, but we know the championship will be decided at another short track or a shorter track. So we are going to save this car, hoping we get there. They got here. Now they have that car.
Allgaier has a little over a second lead. And Jeff, we were looking back on Allgaier, and the sun looks like it's going to come into play as they come out of turn number 2. It looks like it might be in their eyes all the way into turn 3.
It'll be a little bit of a distraction for him. It's not too bad at this racetrack. I don't think it'll cause any issues. The poise of the driver of this 7 car, you know, he's been racing for a long time, right? Look, this is what you're talking about, Rick. As you get into turn 1, what happens is it goes away pretty quickly. So just for a little bit, you got to focus on the yellow line. Look to your left. Just find something. Find that yellow line, or look to your right, find the blue wall. You have to use a reference with the sun in your eyes.
Hey, Jeff, I hate to tell you that, but you know that's turn 3 now.
I know.
You and I you know why
I said it. I went,
oh, I picked on you because one of us was going to do it wrong. I say that, Rick, because for the fans that are just kind of tuning in to Phoenix, the front stretch and the back stretch have swapped. Yeah. The start-finish line has moved. So what you're seeing is normal, but for us, who've been coming out here for decades, we got a lot of bad habits we can't quite fix.
Hey, to be clear, I still call turn 1, turn 3 at Darlington. And how many years has that been?
I actually never saw it the other way.
That was back when they were racing chariots back there that changed that. Austin Cindric, we mentioned how he had a great run to start off this race. Well, he's fought back now, and Cindric has moved up into the 2nd position, able to get by Gragson. Briscoe still running back in 4th. The other championship 4 contender, Justin Haley, is running 7th right now.
I'm really curious. This yellow black car of Austin Cindric, I'm really curious how fast he is. Well, guess what? That time, he was 2.5 tenths faster. He is the fastest race car. There's no question he has the best race car, but he has to put it together. They got to do better on pit road. See Chastain, he's having a problem on pit road.
Kelly.
Yeah, that's Ross Chastain in the number 10 car. He felt a vibration, asked if they were sure that the pit crew got all the lugs tight on the wheels. They thought they did, but it obviously got bad enough. Ross said, I've got to bring it to pit road, so they changed all 4 tires for Ross. Remember, they've got 5 sets, so he may not have one to do battle with if there's a late race caution.
Great look from the helmet cam, the Nutrient Ag Solutions. Appreciate their partnership. They've provided a lot of cameras all season long. It circles back to the conversation about the pit crew. Remember, Justin Haley's pit crew unable to be here. They had a member test COVID positive. They're a cut pit crew. Their option was to take Ross Chastain's pit crew. More experience, it's the one crew. Team president says, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave them for Justin Haley. We have all of the confidence in this Bubba Wallace pit crew for Justin Haley. Leave Ross Chastain's crew assembled. Now we have a loose wheel. That's awful for Ross Chastain, but could that be the difference maker? I mean, think about that tough decision, Jeff, to say, you know what? I'm going to leave the crew with Chastain to help him. Now they, in the end, make the mistake, leave a wheel loose, it appears. But what a tough call that may work out. If Justin Haley's the champion, who knows? What a call by Chris Rice.
This battle continues. Briscoe trying to pick this spot up. Now he's going to do,
oh boy.
Slides right in front of Noah Gragson. Gragson crosses him back over and tries to take the position, but momentum is going to put Briscoe back out in front of the 9.
But that's what we talked about before. Briscoe would have loved to make the pass in 1 and 2, but what he cared about most was getting the position on the 9 car. I mean, he all but stopped in the middle of the corner, but it gave him the position so he could complete the pass down in 3 and 4.
And things heating up once again up front as Allgaier had over a second lead over second place. Now Cindric has closed that gap.
It had. The last time through this set of corners, the 22 got a huge run on the 7. He gets an okay run right here, not quite as big. We'll see what he does with the momentum with a lap car in front. Now down in 1 and 2, the 7 moves up, the 22 higher. He's going to try to turn left here and get a run.
And lap traffic's going to come into play. They get by down the back stretch and into turn 3. Allgaier still with the advantage.
So right here, Jeff, we'll see if he does it again. He almost gives the entry up. He's going to let the 7 disappear out in front of him. No, he drives in there pretty deep. He had been lifting a little earlier, turning down below the 7. This time, a little different approach. Drive in really hard, try to get to the outside. Look at the run off the corner, though.
Watch what he does down here in turn 3. He's going to overdrive this entry.
There's lap cars down here too, Jeff, that are going to come into play.
Smart play by Allgaier. Allgaier just wasn't having it. Just racing with an experienced veteran right there in that 7 car. But right now, this 22 car is so much faster.
See what he does here in 1.
So I think what you're seeing right here from the driver of the 22, Austin Cindric. A year ago, we would have never said that Austin Cindric was the guy that was being patient, right? But that's what he's doing right here. He knows he has the fastest car. He's not putting himself in jeopardy. He could have easily tried to pull that slide job, but he didn't do it because he has the fastest car. He does not want to damage it.
With the Unilever United for America camera, we were able to ride along and listen to the 7 of Justin Allgaier. They're shifting now, Jeff and Steve.
Yeah, so as we see the 22 get right to the inside of the 7. NASCAR sets the gear ratios, but this is one of the few tracks that's an oval that still allows the drivers to shift, Jeff.
Yeah, let's see right now if Cindric's had enough. Still very disciplined driving in the corner. Did not overdrive it, just stayed on the traditional line down in 3 and 4.
And a caution has come out. Smoke. Tommy Joe Martins again. He was up front, stayed on the racetrack for that most recent restart, but now smoke rolling out from behind the 44. The caution has come out, and there you hear it, straight to the garage. Engine has expired on that one.
Just a quick cleanup as well. A driver we haven't seen up front today that perhaps we thought would run inside the top 10. Daniel Hemrick driving the 8 out of Junior Motorsports, currently 6 laps down. Had to go behind pit wall early. They changed the carburetor on that car. So if you don't hear Daniel Hemrick's name, he's not out of the race, but 6 laps down because of a mechanical issue. I'm going to tell you, that 8 car has some bad luck. Yeah. Bad luck. Doesn't matter the driver. They have a variety of drivers in it, and it seems like they just can't get anything to go their way.
All right, some great battles right here. This was Briscoe just absolutely sliding in front of the 9 car of Noah and then having to just stop, right? So right here, Noah Gragson has a choice to make. I can run into the back of him or I can cross him over. Tries to cross him over, but Briscoe now has the spot. Those are the moves that we're going to see all day, and it's the move that Austin Cindric has yet to be willing to make. It's coming. It's coming. He's going to at some point say enough's enough and have to take that, try to take that and make that work. But so far, to me, the smartest driver on the racetrack so far has been Austin Cindric.
He's used patience. He stayed behind the 7, didn't force it. All right, are you ready to win $25,000? Well, the free-to-play Finish Line app is here to make that happen with expert analysis and live in-race tracking of your picks. Just go to your Apple Store or Google Play and download the Finish Line app today. Quick drink there for Austin Cindric.
So, Rick, a little bit of an odd time for yellow when it comes to strategy. These teams are going to have a little bit of stress on their hands. From here, you know you can make it on one more stop on fuel. Everybody's going to have to stop at that final stage. So the leaders, Allgaier, Cindric, Briscoe, you know, they could choose to pit. They could choose to stay out. If I'm Justin Haley in the 11, I haven't had the speed to run with the front three. So I think it's time to try something. See Chris Rice and Alex Yance, the crew chief on top of the pit box. Team owner Matt Collick in the back there. Hasn't met at the racetrack and since Phoenix in the spring. They're not going to gamble. I really think that's a chance the 11 could have gambled, could have got off sequence and try to beat them another way. Because currently I just haven't seen the car to beat them.
Maybe too early. We'll be right back. Later tonight on NBC, it's an all-new Saturday Night Live with host Dave Chappelle and musical guest the Foo Fighters. That should be great. Something for us to enjoy this evening. And enjoying this race from pit road is Brad Daugherty.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, it's getting a little bit cooler as the sun starts to go down, and we were talking about those shadows you guys were on the going into 3 and 4. Well, we're about 20 minutes away from the sun going behind the grandstands. My question is going to be, who has adjustability built into their race cars? Because I'm feeling this temperature start to drop 3, 4, 5 degrees, and in about 20 minutes it'll be cool and dark. Be interesting to see who has the adjustability. Dave, what do you got?
Brad, interesting you mentioned that because this track has always been two very different ends that's built quite uniquely in its shape. Listen to the radio from the 7 real quick.
Better 1 and 2, worse 3 and 4. Still really tight center both ends. Just can't pick the gas up early enough on either end. 1 and 2 especially. If I could pick the gas up a little earlier, it helps.
Better 1 and 2, worse 3 and 4. Now, guys, clearly during that last run when Austin Cindric was pressuring him, he was much better in 3 and 4 than he was in 1 and 2. And I looked up on the stand when the guys were talking to him on the radio, and they were pointing back and forth on either end of the racetrack. I think Justin might have gotten his ends mixed up here at Phoenix Raceway. The bottom line is they're trying to get that car better than the 22 behind him. Right now, it's just as good in 3 and 4 and not quite as good in 1 and 2.
Thanks, Dave. And all three, the top 3 competitors, chose the Highline for the restart.
Yeah, this is just something we're going to continue to see evolve. You know, they're confident. They know they're probably at risk on the initial start, the 3, 4, 5, 6 wide down the dog leg, but they want to be at the high line when they get down into turn 1. And Brad Daugherty, I'm going to pick on a little bit. That is an experienced car owner down there, owns a couple cars in the Cup Series. He knows the track's going to change. Don't ever believe what you currently see or what you currently got.
All right, let's listen into the 22.
Sam, I'm here driving. Learn everything for later. You obviously have a good car.
I'm definitely with you there. Try not to be too aggressive with these guys. As bad as all guys parked in the center on me, just screw my corner. It's not worth it right now.
Very impressive out of the 22-year-old.
Jeff, you said it. A year ago, I just don't think we would have seen any of that.
Just smart racing right now. But on these restarts, Steve, how smart can you be? You cannot afford to give up a lot. I think you'll see 22 get more aggressive on this restart.
And how aggressive will Noah Gragson be in the 9? He's on the inside. Allgaier on the outside. Great restart for Allgaier. Now Cindric dove below the yellow line. Let's see if he can hang on to second. Here comes Gragson. 3 wide as they come out of turn 2. How about Brandon Jones in the 19? Throwing that car in there.
Brandon Jones made that bottom work. Everybody else gave up on it. He committed to it. Picked up a lot of spots.
Won this race back in March, said he beat the man at the racetrack. He was referring to Kyle Busch, who was in the race at the time. So Brandon Jones has experience finding victory lane here at Phoenix, running in the top 4 now.
And right behind him, the one of Mike Lynette. You saw him use that choose way back at the start of this stage. He got some track position, doing a nice job keeping it in the 6th position. Right behind him, that bright white 20 of Harrison Burton. Back-to-back wins leading into Phoenix. He's having a great finish to his season. I know he's disappointed he couldn't advance in the playoffs, but his rookie campaign in the Xfinity Series, very impressive. I think you're going to have to deal with Harrison Burton in the playoffs next year. And here we have it. The 22 thinks it's time to the inside of the 7. Will he clear him? I think this is that big slide job if he can do it right here.
He's far enough on him where it's a good opportunity. There he goes.
Up the racetrack, and Austin Cindric leading at Phoenix.
Nice work by Austin Cindric. Waited until he had a nose in front of the 7 car to make that move. Once he was able to get that position, he took it. Watch him drive away. I'm telling you, he has the best car. He's going to drive away from the 7, but it's going to teach Allgaier. Steve, right now, Allgaier's going to be disappointed, but he's going to learn where his car needs to be better.
You see on the bottom, the 39, Ryan Sieg coming down pit road. It's been such a great for this smaller team. Made the playoffs, had great speed in the playoffs. A lot of bright future for this team. CMR Roofing is back on this organization, trying to continue to build. So you hate to see trouble here in the final race of the year, but it's been a great year so far for Sieg.
He's on pit road, racing continuing as Cindric starting to pull away. We thought that he had one of the fastest cars. He's showing it now. Chase Briscoe coming back into the picture. He's running in the 3rd spot behind Allgaier.
Jeff, you mentioned about how Allgaier is going to have to try to learn from the 22. The one thing I'm seeing is not just a short run, but new tires. On brand new sticker tires, the 7 seems to fire off the best. Then the 22 gets better, the 98 gets better. So you want to make some adjustments, but also keep that in mind. We don't know how that final stage is going to play out. It looks to me like Allgaier fires off the best, then maybe falls off a little bit too much. Parker.
Well, guys, as we look at Austin Cindric leading this race, think about how prepared that 22 team led by Brian Wilson showed up to this race. They didn't make a single adjustment on that 22 car under the first stop, and obviously Austin Cindric very happy that race car just a tick snug on the X of the corners, but getting all the way to lead and showing the speed right now in that 22. Great preparation, no practice, no qualifying at this race by that 22 team.
So many options. You mentioned that word earlier at this racetrack. We're seeing Chase Briscoe trying to find an option to get around the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Allgaier coming in, I think everyone pointed the finger at the 7, saying he's going to be the favorite if he makes it to Phoenix when the playoffs started. And now Allgaier looks like he's fighting just to stay a part of the top 2. As things have picked up for Austin Cindric, and Chase Briscoe is running some great laps as well, running in that 3rd position.
Briscoe's car just looks too loose to me. The back of the car is always around on it. Cannot lean on it the way he needs to. You're going to have to get that car tightened up. To ride along with him, the Hunt Brothers Pizza Cam. Hear that downshift?
All right, so as expected, no shift at that end of the racetrack. Jeff, just down here in 1 and 2.
3 and 4.
Gosh, now I'm as guilty as... You know, you would think it's not been one race. I mean, we've been out here a little bit different. I would have it by now.
There is the end of stage 2. Austin Cindric is going to win it. Allgaier, Briscoe, Jones, and Gregson are in the top 5. And once again, they're not gaining points. It just matters to finish in front of the other 3 championship 4 competitors. But this time, it's Austin Cindric who gets to the finish line first.
It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And what don't kill us make us stronger, boy. Bet that up, take a swing at us. You better hit hard, cause when we swing back, oh God. It's time to knuckle up and fight hard.
You can get in gear for race day. Check out all the greatest selection of t-shirts and hats, die-cast, much more from all of your favorite drivers. All you have to do, visit NASCAR.com/shop. All right, the championship 4. Right now, Austin Cindric up front, Allgaier 2nd, 3rd is Chase Briscoe, and 7th, Haley.
So we talk about no practice, no qualifying. You have to figure it out in the race. Well, at the start of this race, you knew you had a comp yellow. Then you knew you had stage 1 end. You knew you had stage 2 end, which is what we're underneath now. I say that because we're not even halfway. Now it's all figured out. With the adjustments you make right now have better be good ones, because you don't know how this final race or this final stage is going to run, Jeff. It could run green. It could be short runs. You don't know when the tire is going to come on. My point is, when I talk to these crew chiefs, they've kind of learned to use the first half as practice. They know they're going to get a couple shots to make adjustments. No idea in these last 100 laps, though, Jeff, how it's going to run.
A great opportunity right here for that 98 car, that blue car in third position. We've talked all day about not having a good tachometer. Now he can use the cars in front of him. See his eyes? He's looking at his tach, learning what it should look like, because he can follow someone else, Kelly.
Justin Haley brings his 11 car to pit road. The last adjustments helped, but he still is a little bit too tight to the center, needs more rotation. They've made another chassis adjustment on the 11, Parker.
Second in stage 1 for Austin Cindric, winner of stage 2, and just a small left rear air pressure adjustment on the 22, Marty.
To Jeff's point, they are not confident they have that tachometer correct for Chase Briscoe, so they're a little concerned about that. Very gingerly coming to pit road and basing it off of the other cars. Too loose, that's his biggest problem, Dave.
Justin Allgaier enters pit road in second position. Needs a little bit of adjustment plus tape on the front to help the car rotate better in the center. And he's going to lose a couple spots, Rick.
Yeah, Brandon Jones with a great pit stop. He wins the race off of pit road. The winner back here in March.
Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Following the NASCAR America post-race show, catch the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Championship Special. You will not want to miss it. It is a spectacular race. It will run this week. We'll see who will be crowned the champion. Big purse, $300,000, $100 grand going to the winner.
You were part of the broadcast, right, Steve?
Myself and Parker. It's going to be fun. You want to tune in. Rutledge.
Steve, I got my special guest, Tony Stewart, with me. He is watching up in the suites in between 3 and 4, or as you said, Tony, for Steve, that's 1 and 2. Right. Hey, let's talk about it right now. You've been in that spot going for a championship. What does it feel right now to be in that driver's seat for drivers like your guy, Chase Briscoe?
Well, and that is exactly right. It depends on which guy you are. If you're Austin Cindric right now, you're probably pretty happy right now. Your car has decent short run speed, but has decent long run speed as well. I think he's probably got the best balanced car as far as the beginning of the run to the end of the run. Chase fighting a loose race car, it looked like that time it didn't take off as good as he would like, but it looked like as the run went on, the car got a little tighter and came to him a little bit. Then you got Justin Allgaier that's on the polar opposite end of that scale, that was really fast at the beginning of the run and then seemed to fall off toward the end of it. So it's a balancing act right now. And the hard part is, you'd love to be in Justin's shoes probably. If you're not Austin, you want to be in Justin's shoes, I'm going to guess, because you got more of an opportunity to have a short run to the end where you're going to need tires and you're going to need that short run speed most likely. So if you got to bet one way or the other, I want a car that either is balanced all the way through the run or have a car that's got short run speed where, at the end of the race, I got a shot to get it on a green, white checkered finish or a short run finish. But I guarantee you these guys, they realize that the clock's ticking down and they're going to have less and less opportunities to come in and fix these cars. So I would say Austin's probably the one that's most comfortable right now, knowing that his car feels really good.
All right, what's your guess? You think we're going to have a 6-wide restart, and that's where our champion comes from? Or do you think it's pit road? Where do you think our winner's really going to emerge from?
Both. I mean, it could happen on pit road, obviously, and has a really good shot of that. But, anybody that watched the truck race last night, I mean, this front straightaway leads to some of the wildest, most chaotic restarts in all of motorsports. So I don't know how you can count anybody out on a restart, depending on how low they want to go. But, with the PJ1 and the groove being at the top of 1 and 2, it's all up in the air right now on what can happen at the end of this thing.
Tony Stewart, thanks for joining us, brother. Rick Allen, restart coming.
And we're looking forward to it. Steve?
Not a lot of bright spots in 2020, but as we all learn better technology, Tony Stewart can make fun of me at the same racetrack I'm at and can stay in his suite and do it. I love it. So cool for Tony to join us, though. That's such a great perspective. And he's the man. This is one of the tracks. He was the guy you had to beat.
Back up through the gears they go. Allgaier on the inside. Brandon Jones, race leader. We'll see if he can make that outside line work.
You mentioned it, Rick. Allgaier moved up 3 spots to start on the inside of the front row. Was 4th off pit road. And look at this. From 4th with the choose to the inside and then to the lead.
Allgaier out front at Phoenix again.
Jeff, the choose rule is changing how this works because the 7 of Allgaier could have never taken the lead from 4th in years past, even with a good short run car. But look what it allows him to do now.
Yeah, it's completely changed the game. See this 9 car making a big run right there. Car bottomed out big time on the bottom of the racetrack. That hurt his momentum.
And this is what Tony Stewart was just talking about. He liked what Cindric was on the long run, but if you needed to be on the exact opposite, it was the 7, and now you see why. Look how good he fires on brand new tires.
How about that 11 car? Really hasn't had the speed so far today, but there he is. Right behind one of the guys he's got to beat to win this championship.
There's that leaf filter gutter protection on board for Justin Haley, and he does have the 22 of Cindric right in his sights now.
And he's got to stay with that 22. He cannot let Noah slide up in front of him right here.
Downshifted early, back into the gas for Haley. See if he can clear the 9 of Gragson. Gragson continuing to fight right on his door. Those two traded paint earlier. And Haley has cleared him. So now the championship 4 all running inside the top 5. Steve, can they make it on fuel?
Nope. They're going to have to come to the pit road at least once in this final stage. 80, 85 laps. They can run this stage well over 100. So we know we have to see a pit stop. But when could be the decision? What a move by the 22. He just turns left. Goes down there, slides up in front of the 98, gets that right rear in the grip.
There's the 11 car of Haley. This is the best his car has been all day.
Here comes Haley. The 21-year-old, Justin Haley.
So tough to carry any speed off the bottom of 3 and 4. The 9's got to get to his outside. Now the 9 will be able to put his right sides up into the darker area. Gets all 4 up there.
That's the problem with trying. It's crazy, Steve. Trying to make a pass actually hurt Justin Haley, right? He just didn't clear him, and then Noah took advantage of it. With this traction compound being so effective right now, it's just so hard to clear somebody on the bottom.
And, you know, bravo to Phoenix Raceway. They got the championship race. We talked about the engagement. The town looks great. You land at the airport. There's decals everywhere. But it's more than just promotion. It's delivering. And this track and the way they have put the sticky stuff up top and the way it's prepared is giving these drivers options and putting on a great race.
Allgaier right now has 1 second lead over Brandon Jones, who has fallen back to second. Then it's Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Gragson, and Haley. Dave, Allgaier has a 1 second lead right now.
Rick doing what he does on tracks of a mile in length or less. Remember, he talked about it in the pre-race show. Short tracks have been our strength this year, and 8 total in 2020 versus the other 3. He's outrun them each time, finishing in the winner column 3 times and second 1 time. He's led 35% of all tracks that they've raced on that are a mile or less in length. And so this is his wheelhouse. He's just got to keep the 7 there throughout the rest of this race, Parker.
Well, Dave, the car he had to, Austin Cindric had to pass to win stage 2 was that 7 of Justin Allgaier. But we've been talking about that slide job and how you move up in front of that car that you want to pass. Sometimes as a driver, you question how that went down. Take a listen to his radio and what he had to say under the caution.
Nothing working out there with the 7. He just gets tight or he let me in? No, it's like he jumped that little edge to come out of the throttle. 4.
And that is because as a driver inside the car, you don't know exactly how that went down. Did you clear them? Did they get the spot to you? That's one of the things you always have to wonder when you're making those slide job moves, Marty.
Right behind him, Chase Briscoe sitting in the 4th position right now. 3rd in the championship as you see Austin Cindric get around Brandon Jones there. That will be for the 2nd position. Briscoe has his hands full early in a run. The car extremely loose. So, Jeff, they say it's going to get better the longer he runs. They keep telling him that, but when you have a very loose car at the start of the run, how tough is it to keep someone like Noah Gragson behind you in the early part of a run?
The best are running up front. Allgaier, Cindric, Briscoe, all part of the top 4. Haley running in the 6th position. We're going to go NASCAR nonstop. You won't miss a thing.
Did you know that Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me? Really? My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower. over you, figuratively speaking. But that's not catchy, is it? That's not going to swim about in your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%? Serendipity.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders here to make dinner time a little easier. Meal times can be overwhelming, especially when you're trying to work, parent, and help with the schooling all at once. So let us help with KFC's $20 fill-ups. It's like a home-cooked meal you don't have to cook. Drive-throughs open or get contactless delivery.
Well, you wanted the quiet life, John. Dead batteries, empty streets.
Welcome to Advance Auto Parts.
I need one of those.
I'm coming for you!
Happy trips.
Keep this car moving.
Hey, that's my line.
Die-Hard batteries, only sold by Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts.
Today tastes like a home game, like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat, and like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
Patty,
100%.
Patty, but Patty. The flavor, the way they cook it, the way they season it, the way that it's made. Queso burger.
I am legendary. The place where history is written in rubber.
Man, I tell you, it's a hard race to win.
A 200-mile-per-hour tribute to those who came before. A once-in-a-lifetime celebration of speed. I am only believed once seen. My sole purpose is to show you something unforgettable. I am the Great American Race. I am the Daytona 500. Sunday, February 14th. Tickets available now.
Just 86 laps to go in the season. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship, Desert Diamond Casino, West Valley 200 from Phoenix Raceway. I want to take a look at the Toyota driver update, and we have to go back to third right now, where Brandon Jones, the winner from March at this racetrack, running in that third position. Their pit crew got him out first. He's been passed, but he has been strong at this track.
Well, and Rick, I think we're starting to see kind of the strength of each car. Tony Stewart mentioned it. We've seen some adjustments. We're inside 100 to go. Short run, I think it's Justin Allgaier's best friend. The race can fall that way. Long run, looks to be Austin Cindric's best friend. He looks like he has the car the longer we run. The 98, he's right around here. He doesn't quite have the speed yet, but you never know on a restart if he could find his way up there. And Haley continues to improve, but I think they need to find a little bit more, still about 15/100ths or so off the leader. He's going to have to find that speed if he wants to be a contender at the end of this race, purely on car, Jeff. I mean, a lot of things can happen, but I'm just talking about what we're seeing out of their race cars.
Yeah, there's a lot to happen in this race, obviously. So many laps left. We have pit stops. We have a lot of things, restarts. But for long run speed, I don't even think it's close. You're riding on it with this Verizon cam. Austin Cindric, he has got the best car in a long run.
Let's listen into the radio of the 22.
That ability to enter the corner like that is probably going to pay off in the long run. Sir, you need to make sure we're taking care of it for the long run here. Manage what you can for the long run.
Remember, the gap was a second. Well, now it's a bumper. And that's the view that they have as they go diving into turn 3.
So notes crew chiefs keep. If I'm Jason Burdett, this is lap 21. It took 21 laps for the 22 to get back to our rear bumper. Now I know when I say I'm better on the short run, for how long? About 20. I can hold him off for 20 if I get out there. That is working on in the back of my mind, so I know how this race is going to be won and how many laps are left, and when I want to pit under green. If he's that much better than me on old tires, be aggressive, pit early, put your fresh tires on. Look at Cindric and say, hey, buddy, I'm gaining on you right now. Can you stay on the racetrack? Play the game. Pit strategy is not clear. Pit strategy is like calling defense. Once the offense running, well, you better pick the correct defense. very liquid. You got to understand who you're racing against.
And right now, lap traffic coming into play again, as Cindric likes that higher line through 1 and 2. Had to dive all the way down to the apron so that he could clear the 52 of Cody Vanderwall.
22's better, but the 7's no slouch, Jeff. Good, still has good speed in that car.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't count Brandon Jones out. He has caught back up to the 22 of Cindric. He'll be working on that lap card as well. Brandon Jones still running strong here in the top 3. Now a run by the 22. Cindric able to make the move.
Noah Gragson, you saw him underneath the 98. Briscoe had a moment in 3 and 4. Was able to collect it. But now just brought all these cars right to him.
Exactly, Jeff. That's what I was thinking as we looked out the rear bumper of the 98. Unfortunately, it was more than just the 9 back there. There's a bunch of cars. Let's take a look at what you said about that moment.
Just too loose. This car has been too loose all day. Just does not have the back of the car hooked up the way he wants it to. Marty.
And they have not been able to get it tightened up all day long for the 98, especially early in the run. Man, they pay such a price, all that track position he lost. And they're also challenging him. They know the 7 and the 22 are pulling away, so they're saying, hey, we got to get more lap time. So Chase pushing it for everything he can. Briscoe trying to catch Austin Cindric and Justin Allgaier. And sometimes you push it a little too far.
And Steve, burning off fuel takes a little bit of the weight away from the back of the car. Is that helping it handling-wise?
Normally, they would build tighter, yes, Rick, as the fuel burns off, weight goes to the front, where we basically call it nose weight, makes the car a little bit more secure. But sometimes when it's so loose and edgy, you can't, if this sounds crazy, but you can't drive it hard enough to heat the right front tire up. Right, Jeff? Like at some point, you have to have enough security to drive the car the direction balance shift that you're looking for. You don't want to overdrive it. Heat that right front up. Try to get a little secure, but if he's so loose, you can't just, drive it off in there with a chance to wreck.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just builds more and more air pressure and temperature to that right rear tire. He has his hands full. Oh, good battle for the lead.
So doesn't Justin Allgaier with the 22 of Cindric. Just think, I just can't get past, a season is what these guys have done to give themselves an opportunity at a championship. No one of the championship 4 has won a championship. Life-changing moments are going to happen in these next 74 laps. I just wonder if the drivers in the car feel that pressure. Brian Wilson on the pit box. He has the experience. An engineer for Brad Keselowski's Cup championship. When I talked to Brian on the phone, he goes, listen, I know what it's like to race. I wasn't the guy on the radio, but I sat right next to him. I sat next to Paul Wolfe. I saw how he prepared. I saw how he communicated. Every time I talked to Brian, a lot of confidence, a lot of leadership out of this crew chief.
We're going to go NASCAR nonstop. You won't miss a thing as things heating up here up front in the desert.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renter's insurance. Become a member today. Get an insurance quote at USAA.com/quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
For those who dare to search. There are places where wild still exists. Where phrases like survival of the fittest still ring true. The raw, the unforgiving. This is where Toyota TRD Pro calls home. Toyota.
We buy so many different things online, from shoes to socks to shoe socks, baby food, dog food, parrot food, a scarf, the scarf tube, sleeping bag, suit, huh? So why not tires? At TireRack.com, you can find, buy, then have your tires shipped to one of our trusted independent installers for safe, easy installation. Visit TireRack.com/Goodyear to find the Goodyear tires that meet the driving challenges of your world. Goodyear, more driven. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Today tastes like staying in. Like our go-to place. Tastes like anticipating. Honey, could you help me with this? And a little bit like waiting. Food's here. Today tastes like a piece of the action. And it never tasted this good.
Every race, every lap, every mile has led out here. To 4 drivers so close to a championship they can almost reach out and touch it. But what shimmers out there on the desert horizon might be a mirage. Something that lives on forever. The NASCAR Championship on NBC.
While Cindric and Allgaier were fighting for the lead up front, Briscoe maybe pushing it a little bit too hard. You saw it all, but this is what happened to Chase Briscoe just behind them.
Yeah, knowing he needs a little bit of speed, just continuing to look for it. That time, Steve got the whole right side of the car.
Yeah, that contact was a little bit harder. And then while that was going, this is the 22 of Cindric. I won't even call that contact. Right on the 7's bumper, then it takes a left-hand turn. And then just drives so deep down into turn 3.
Right on by, slides up in front of the 7, takes the lead. So Cindric back up front. He's led 16 laps already today. Allgaier led 71. Briscoe's been up front for 41 laps. And it's Austin Cindric that is in front of the field now and in position for his first championship. A lot of pressure from Brandon Jones in the 19.
Not in the playoffs anymore, but a big year for Brandon Jones. You hear Allgaier when he slammed that thing into third gear, you could hear it. Really good year for Brandon Jones. 3 wins. Kind of a breakout year, I'd say.
Yeah, 3 wins starting off here at Phoenix, where I mentioned he beat Kyle Busch to get the win here. Kansas, he just said he needed to stay positive. Right place, right time, and that's what he was able to do, and then got another win at Darlington. Want to get a few updates from pit road. We'll start with Kelly.
Since the last round of adjustment, Justin Haley's spotter, Kevin Hamlin, has observed that number 11 car looks much better. Now Justin has finally been able to start to work his way forward. That's kind of been the MO of this team all season long. When I asked Cucci Balaksian to describe Justin, he said he's just kind of that quiet kid that shows up out of nowhere with 50 to go. Well, we've got 63 laps in this one. We'll see if Justin Haley can re-enter the conversation for Xfinity Series champion. Parker?
Well, Kelly, as you look at Austin Cindric, who firmly has this race in control right now, leading over a second. It wasn't but 2 years ago at this race in the fall at Phoenix where he was very vocally frustrated on the radio. And after that race, Brian Wilson and him sat down, and Brian said, look, but we are trying to help you. If you get angry and frustrated on the radio, we can't help you. We are trying to help you as a race team. And since then, from winning, his confidence has grown. And just before passing Justin Allgaier there, he got a little frustrated on the radio. Then he said, you know what? I have a bigger picture here. I got to focus on that.
Take a look at this. Brandon Jones has taken the 2nd spot away from Allgaier. So now Allgaier has fallen back to 3rd. Brandon Jones going up there and see if he can get by the 22, maybe get another win here and sweep the Phoenix race.
So, Rick, what's really happening right now is we are maybe 8 laps away from a pretty good chance to come to pit road and be halfway in this run. If you're somebody like Allgaier losing time, you may come a little bit earlier, 6 laps into a run. But if you're the 22 of Cindric, you're going to want to run this maybe a few laps longer. You're good on old tires. You have an advantage. And maybe you'll get a perfect time yellow that could gift track position. Marty, in my mind, the 22 and the 7 maybe on a little bit different strategies when it comes to green flag pit stops.
Well, and Brandon Jones up there in 2nd right now. You guys talked about the big win in March over Kyle Busch. He told me this morning, I learned some things from Kyle Busch in that race, and I made 3 pages series of notes that I studied every day this week to be prepared for here. He honestly feels like they can win. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe further back clearly has a very loose race car. He has a car that they've struggled with the handling, and once in a while, he steps over the edge. They did hit the wall a moment ago. You saw that replay, and since then, Chase Briscoe has not had one lap outside the top 5 fastest cars on the racetrack. Richard Boswell said, you know what, Chase, we still can do this. Stay with me. Dave?
Marty, when Justin Allgaier returned to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2016, he was paired with crew chief Jason Burdett. That's now 5 years of experience knowing each other, knowing each other's tendencies, knowing these race cars and these racetracks together. Justin Allgaier needs an adjustment on this 7 to do something different than what Austin Cindric is doing up front. He needs to do what they know how to do, so they're going to have to make an adjustment here. Clearly, they have a good short run car at the beginning. They've got to get some speed in it in the final 30 laps, guys.
And just 57 laps to go in this race. Pit stops are going to be happening soon. We're going to go NASCAR nonstop.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Taco Bell's grilled cheese burrito is filled with nacho cheese sauce and a delicious 3-cheese blend. And even more melty cheese is grilled on top. Get your hands on a grilled cheese burrito, only at Taco Bell.
Oh, morning sun, come our way.
Still warm.
This is the song of the day.
For some of us, our daily journey is a short one. Save 50% when you pay per mile with Allstate. Pay less when you drive less. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
Come on, Burdett.
Didn't that happen to Harvick here last year?
And right now we're hearing from pit road. The 7 might be having an issue with a tire. They need to come to pit road. 98 still wondering if there's adjustments that they can make to make it better. Dave?
Rick, Justin Allgaier hopped on the radio, told his crew, I am pretty sure my right front is coming apart. Now, you just heard him there saying, nope, it's fine. Jeff Burton, I don't know what that feels like when it's a possibility, but you know as a driver, if you think you need to come to pit road, because otherwise you're going to put it in the wall, you've got to come.
Yeah, clearly he got really, really tight, meaning the car would not turn very well at all for him. And he just got nervous about it. But then as he assessed it, he said, hey, it's okay. Still may need to make their car better, but at least he doesn't think they have a tire coming apart.
What a run here. Brandon Jones has closed the gap now. That's for the lead. Austin Cindric up front. Brandon Jones running second. Austin Cindric has to realize it's not about winning the race. It's finish in front of the other Championship 4 competitors.
That's a great point. So how hard do you want to race Brandon Jones here? We don't know. So we're into that window, Rick, where pitting now would make sense on paper. You'd be splitting this last run up kind of in half. You would have the best tires for both 50-lap runs, but I can't think of a tougher call than to be racing for a championship and decide to gamble. Come to pit road first and try to give your driver an advantage, because if a yellow comes out, you have taken the championship trophy right off from the shelf. It's not going to be possible if the other 2 or 3 stay out. So who pits first, who doesn't? Cindric, I think, is in the best spot. He can wait. Allgaier in 3rd. Will he come early? Briscoe in 4th. I don't know. Or Haley in 6th. Will he be the gamble? 51 to go. Let's go NASCAR nonstop.
Awesome internet. It's more than just fast. It keeps all your devices running smoothly. With built-in security that protects your kids, no matter what they're up to. Protects your info, and gives you 24/7 peace of mind. That if it's connected, it's protected. Even that pet camera thingy. Can your internet do that? Xfinity XFi can, because it's simple, easy, awesome.
Xfinity, proud premier partner of NASCAR.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders here to make dinner time a little easier. Meal times can be overwhelming, especially when you're trying to work, parent, and help with the schooling all at once. So let us help with KFC's $20 fill-ups. It's like a home-cooked meal you don't have to cook. Drive-throughs open or get contactless delivery.
I am legendary. The place where history is written in rubber.
Man, I tell you, it's a hard race to win.
A 200-mile-per-hour tribute to those who came before. A once-in-a-lifetime celebration of speed. I am only believed once seen. My sole purpose is to show you something unforgettable. I am the Great American Race. I am the Daytona 500. Sunday, February 14th. Tickets available now.
Austin Cindric still out front and has about an 0.8 of a second lead over second place Brandon Jones. He's got a 4-second lead over his closest competitor in the championship 4, and that's heating up now as to who it will be. Justin Allgaier in the 7 is on the bottom of the racetrack, currently in the 3rd position, but here comes the 98. Briscoe on the high side takes that spot away.
So we talk about the gamble of short pitting. This is what's so tough for the 98, who seems to have his car coming in a little bit, and the 7 of Allgaier. We've seen it. Tony Stewart told us, man, the 7 has such a great short-run car. Do you want to gamble and take away the opportunity for a late yellow that the championship may come? Because if the gamble turns wrong, Marty, you could be giving up a championship.
And for Chase Briscoe, you guys are right. The car just so free early in the run, and just takes us so long for the car to come in. So now it's on Richard Boswell. Steve, you've been in this position before as a crew chief. You've got one shot, one pit stop to make it better, possibly win a championship, and you know you've got to fix the car drastically if they're going to be better in the short run. Obviously, they have speed late in the run, but at the front end of the run, that 98 just pays such a big penalty and loses so much time. I mean, he's 4 seconds plus behind Austin Cindric. You can't give up that much on the short run.
You can, and the problem is we're not even talking the front 10 or 15 laps, Jeff. It's a 30, 35 lap problem for the 98.
Yeah, something to keep in mind, too, is you talked about green flag pit stops. Who is going to be the first one on pit road? No practice. So no one's practiced getting onto pit road. No one understands where their braking zones are. It's very easy to get caught speeding on pit road entry. And, Steve, we've talked about the 22 and the 98 all day long having problems with their tachometers on pit road. That under green flag could be a huge disadvantage for the pit road speed.
So now you got to be nervous. Now you got to be nervous for him.
What a season it's been for Chase Briscoe. 9 wins already, but it hasn't been all easy. He's always been looking in the mirror, looking over his shoulder, trying to figure out what his career was going to be like. He thought it was going to take 8 wins to make it into the Cup Series. Early on, he and his wife suffered a miscarriage before the Darlington race, trying to start a family this year. He said that played on him. They made it public. They talked about it. As a matter of fact, he just mentioned that he and his wife Marissa had a second miscarriage just a couple weeks ago. So that has been on his mind. He's been fighting through all that, but the bright spot has been he knows he's going to race in the Cup Series next year. Tony Stewart made that announcement. He will drive the 14. The other bright spot, he's racing for a championship tonight.
He told us on the Zoom call this week that he's learned a lot of that determination from watching Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart. One his teammate as a driver, one as his owner. He referenced back, remember that championship run that Tony Stewart was on? He said he willed himself to win 5 of the 10 races. Then you know what? It's paying off because Chase Briscoe is willing this 98 around the racetrack sideways for most laps, but keeping himself in the picture.
And right now, Briscoe running in the 3rd spot. Cindric out in front. Has that preferred championship 4 position. Briscoe's 4.8 seconds behind Austin Cindric right now.
All right, so we talked about the 98 currently in 3rd, Allgaier in 4th. Justin Haley in 6th, in my mind, is the question mark. They called him the wild card coming in. I think it's come to the point where Alex Yance and Chris Rice on top of that pit box need to put their heads together and say, all right, what are we going to do? What's our option? 41 laps to go. Instead, it's the 7 of Allgaier that'll come to pit road. I was thinking the 11 should have gambled and tried something different. In the end, Jason Burdett said, now's the time, Dave. I'm going to short pit and try to get an advantage.
Justin Allgaier said now's the time. Jason Burdett told him they were going to be 10 laps or so away from pitting, and Justin asked, well, is that just because, or because, you know, he want to know why? He said, we are bleeding so bad right now, we really need to come. Justin just felt like there was no speed left in the 7 car, needed to put these tires on and get an adjustment as well. Anytime he tries to turn left, make it a sharp left, it wants to come around on it, Kelly.
Justin Haley pursuit brought his number 11 to pit road. He said it's way better than it was before, but he is still just a little bit too tight through the center of the turns, and he got a little bit free going into turn 3 late in that run. Warm up your tires for the 11.
So I thought the 7 was gambling, and we corrected it. Haley came with him. I love the call from Haley. They're scrappers, staying in it, right? Give yourself a chance.
Going to get a different pit crew for Haley than they're used to. The 43 Cup team over-the-wall crew doing the work there.
So I
pit stop.
I talked to Chris Rice and President Matt Collig. Collig Racing owns his car. He's sitting on the pit box behind Chris Rice. He said he hasn't been back to the racetrack since Phoenix in the spring. And he said he's a football player. He's used to being on the sidelines. He could not wait to get back to the racetrack. Well, here he is. Glad to see the owner back at the racetrack. But 22 also on pit road, Parker.
Right, one of the most important pit stops of his career, leading by just about a second over Brennan Jones. They've only made a left rear air pressure adjustment all race on that 22 car, and they're making no adjustments on this stop here. Very happy with that car. The solid stop for the 22 team. Marty.
Chase Briscoe coming down pit road. I'm not convinced they have that tachometer fixed yet. He's now in his stall. He said at the end of the run, he feels like he's killing the front tires, but we're better in 3 and 4 than we are in 1 and 2. And talk about a big swing. We talked about what Richard Boswell would need to do down 2 rounds on the track bar. That should drastically tighten up the 98. Will it be enough?
22, a great stop, and the 98 watches him go off pit road. We're going to go NASCAR nonstop.
Geico makes the claims process so easy. I can file and manage my claim all in the Geico app. It's not just easy, it's giving your dog your fitness tracker easy.
Ah, good boy. Yes, you got it. Woo! Already got my 40,000 steps today. Can I get a what? No pain, no gain.
It's Geico Easy with fast and convenient claim service.
Look how fast I'm running. Good boy, Chester.
Patty,
100%.
Patty, Patty. The flavor, the way they cook it, the way they season it, the way that it's made. Queso burger.
I'm a Verizon engineer, and today we're turning on 5G across the country with a coverage of 5G nationwide. And in more and more cities, the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. It will change your phone and how businesses do everything. I'm proud because we didn't build it the easy way. We built it right. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
Most. Introducing the Toyota Venza with standard all-wheel drive. Toyota, let's go places.
Taco Bell's grilled cheese burrito is filled with nacho cheese sauce and a delicious 3-cheese blend. And even more melty cheese is grilled on top. Get your hands on a grilled cheese burrito, only at Taco Bell.
Every race, every lap, every mile has led out here. To 4 drivers so close to a championship they can almost reach out and touch it. But what shimmers out there on the desert horizon might be a mirage. Something that lives on forever. The NASCAR Championship on NBC.
Look down on Austin Cindric. Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. And a caution has come out. You see the 08s of Joe Graf Jr. right in the middle of green flag pit stops. And Austin Cindric and Allgaier were on the lead lap, but there are quite a few that are a lap down.
So, Rick, we talk a lot about multi-core organizations, and Chastain running long has trapped his own teammate, Justin Haley, a lap down at this point. So I know they're running their own races, but you mentioned it. Cindric and Allgaier are on the lead lap. There's only going to be 6 cars on the lead lap. Now, some could take the free pass. There's going to be a wave around. We'll have to get the scoring after we see what happens here. But Chastain's the leader, and because of that lead and that 14-second advantage he had over Annett, he had the other 2 championship competitors of Briscoe and Haley trapped a lap down.
And Briscoe was in position to get the free pass. He was the first car scored a lap down.
Which is great, but he's going to have to restart now at the tail end of the longest line with 29 laps to go. So, I would be frustrated.
Here's the reason for the caution. There's Joe Graf Jr. up here.
Yeah, this is coming off turn 2. He makes heavy contact with the wall. Then he tries to continue, does the right thing, because remember, he's past pit road entry. He comes down in 3 and 4, hits the wall, and look at everything blowing off the back of the car. With as high as the groove is, NASCAR has no choice but to throw a caution. And this is just a huge opportunity for Cindric and Allgaier. Allgaier specifically, he has a great short run car. Now he has a short run, 10 laps on the tires. The question is, does Jason Burdett say, this is it? This is where I'm drawing the line in the stand. There's only 6 cars or 5 cars in the lead lap. I'm gonna put my tires on now. And if we don't have any more yellows, we can win it. Or does he save a set? This is how they, unfortunately lost the race in the spring, is because of when the cautions fell.
Steve, 11 laps on your tires. That's enough that you need fresh tires?
It's not enough that you need it, but the question, if I'm the 7, I do whatever the 22 doesn't do.
I'm leaning forward. Pit road's open right here.
Oh, there you have it. Pit road's open. Jason Burdett said, this is the moment. We're racing for a championship, 28 laps to go. He steps up as a leader, makes a decision. Will the 22 come as well? Will the 22 stay out with a split decision, or both come together? If they both come together, advantage Allgaier. Because not only will the 22 be on his cycle, but the 7, I think, is the best short run car. Tony Stewart told us, right? He's a Cup champ. He knows. Let's see who else pits. We'll see as they come around here. They're back in the field the way it's out. Annett comes to pit road. Look at the big gap.
Yeah, this is how far it had changed.
There you go.
The
You're going to see a left turn. Will it be the 22? Will it be the 7? There you go. Split decision. The 22 stays out on old tires. The 7 comes and gets new tires. Now it comes down to how are these 28 laps going to run? Will there be a caution? The 7 will be out of tires. The 22 will have a set. A huge call with championship implications, Dave.
Here comes the 7 for that last set of Goodyear tires. They have discussed the fact that he isn't good on scuff tires. He's really good on stickers. So on this restart, he'll be super fast. If there's a late restart and he's on the older tires, he may not be as good. This is the call that Jason Burdett made. They'll take 4 here and set him up for the end of the race.
I love the call, Rick. I think it is their championship to go win, and this is how they go and win it. Now, if my Magic 8-ball would just tell me when the yellows will come out, I'll tell you if it's a good call or not at the end of the race. But this is the stress of a crew chief.
Remember how we started this show? Who's going to win? The championship is on the line, and as a matter of fact, it's down to 26 laps to go to determine who will win.
It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And what don't kill us make us stronger, boy. Bet that love, take a swing at us. You better hit hard, cause when we swing back, oh God.
Tomorrow on NBC, it's the Cup's turn to find out who will be the champion. The NASCAR Cup Series right here at Phoenix Raceway. That race coverage starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Pre-race begins at 1:30. Marty, the 98 came to pit road.
Big call by Richard Boswell to bring Chase Briscoe down pit road. They were going to be tail end of the longest line anyway because they were the free pass car, but they came down, made a large adjustment, one more big swing at it, trying to get the car to handle better and be tighter for Chase Briscoe. But Steve, here go all the wave around cars, so maybe the penalty for the 98 won't be as bad. Explain that.
So this is how it works. This is how the lineup is set. You have lead lap cars, lap down cars, penalty cars, which would be considered what the 98 is. It's called a penalty car. Last car in the longest line. Then wave around cars, because they were just given a free lap. They say, hey, we're just going to not let you have start in front of the leader. The pace car is going to pull over. You wave around. Because of that gift-wrapped lap, the penalty for them is you have to start at the back behind the 98. So the 98 really isn't that bad. I said that, you know, he was going to start way at the back. He's only going to be maybe 5 or 6 cars behind the 7 of Allgaier. To go back to the 7 of Allgaier's choice to pit here, a couple things I love about it. One, believe in your driver, put him on the aggressive side, let him try to go win himself a championship. 2, with only 24 laps to go, even if a caution does come out with 15 to go, and the 22 comes to pit, You have 15-lap tires, but you will be the leader or near the front. Then, even though it's very difficult to hold off new tires, Jason Burdett, in my mind right here, has said, you know what, Justin, I believe in you. You've done this for 10 years. We've won here a couple times. I'm not going to leave you out there on equal and not give you a chance to go up there. At some point, you're going to have an advantage. It's going to be right now. Now, on this restart, our guy's going to have to go because he has those brand new tires, Jeff. He's got to get clean air and gap to 22 the best he can.
Steve, earlier you
laugh. Why do you laugh at me?
It always comes down to restarts.
Oh, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh, you said that, I don't know, every race this year, and you're right.
You mentioned earlier 21 laps is when the 7 was caught by the 22. Well, there are going to be 23 laps to go in this race. We know the 7 is better on the short runs. Can he get by? Does he have enough to get past the 10 and the 22 on this restart? And could it be the last one for the championship?
Restart timed great by the 7. He is on the 10's bumper. Where's he going to go? 3 wide through the middle, or will he turn left?
Get up behind the 22 if you need to.
Look at the 10. Ross Chastain up front. Hasn't won all year long. Now fighting for the lead here at Phoenix.
Game on right here.
Cindric overdrives the corner to make the pass, but look how good the 7 is all the way to the quarter panel of the 22.
Now, as they go into turn 1 for the lead, Allgaier on the inside.
Cindric pitched him off big time. Ran down there on his quarter panel. Took all the space away from him.
Oh, the gloves are off.
Take another swing at him.
Take another swing. We asked them all, what would they do? They all basically avoided the question. No one really answered it. Well, here we are. 22 laps to go. They're going to answer the question now, Rick. Allgaier's going to have to show us what he's willing to do for a championship.
We'll see what this swing is like for Allgaier. Coming up on the final 20 laps. Allgaier with a big run up high.
You see the movement in the back of the 22. The 7's better. Inches at a time, but he has time. 21 laps to go, Jeff. He can inch in on the bumper of the 22.
That's exactly right. Keep that pressure on, Austin Cindric. Think about this. Austin Cindric, young driver, going for his first championship. Allgaier also going for his first championship, but forcing into a mistake.
As we've watched this battle update on Briscoe, he's up to the 6th position. Could become a factor. Might need a yellow to do it, but has recovered. Oh, look at this gain by the 7 through the middle of the corner. Can he carry the momentum on corner exit? So, Jeff, the question is, if he's better, how does he pass it?
Well, first he's got to get there, right? I said that is the fatal mistake drivers make, is trying to make a pass before it's time. You've got to get to his bumper first. Don't start trying to pass him until you get there. Run the fastest line.
What a job by Cindric. 7-lap older green flag. About 10 laps on their tires, but 7 of them green, and still holding off what we think is the best short-run car here with Allgaier.
I agree with that. Austin Cindric doing a great job of driving this race car. Shows you how good of a race car he has.
Austin Cindric told us earlier, he said that he really learned something the last Phoenix race. When they were here in March, he said that day told me that I had a shot at the championship. I had a shot at this title. So all the way back in March, Austin Cindric kind of had his eyes open. He was known mostly as a road course racer, a guy who's very good on road courses, but then he went out and dominated. Won both Kentucky races back-to-back on a 1.5-mile oval. First time he had won on ovals, and then all of a sudden he was thrust into the championship picture.
And we talk about gambles. We talk about Jason Burdett putting tires on as a gamble. How about this for a gamble? When I talked to Brian Wilson this week, every crew chief said, I brought this car because we won here, or this car because it was the best. Brian Wilson said, we brought a brand new car. Calmly. And I was shocked. I said, no testing, no proof. He goes, nope, not even the same spec we normally run. The Cup guys built new cars. They went to Richmond. They've been great. Fast forward to tomorrow, 2 of his Penske teammates will race for a Cup championship. So much confidence in the engineering and the manufacturing at Team Penske. He said, build me a winner. Build me the new, latest, greatest, best of the best. He bought a brand new car here. Wasn't a flashy gamble, but a gamble that's currently paying off.
But that's the Penske way, right? We heard Brad Keselowski talk about that. He told us he was bringing his Richmond car because it ran so well, but Penske likes to build a new car every week.
Is it going to pay off for young Austin Cindric? Austin Cindric knew he had the veteran, the experience behind him in Justin Allgaier. He knew that Allgaier had a faster short track car. But after knowing all of that, he's been able to hold him off, and he's starting to pull away.
I question when the yellows may fall. Forget that. Austin Cindric is just doing what he needs to do. But what we have seen here, though, is one slip, Jeff. You know, a 1 second lead, 0.7 of a second lead, one slip of the rear tire on corner exit, and it'll be gone.
It will be gone, but I'm amazed at the speed that Austin Cindric has right now. Just incredible that he's able to drive away from that 7 car with the 7 car a little bit fresher tire. You're a little bit further behind him. Noah Gretsky. Think about this from a tire standpoint. Noah is on brand new tires, and he is slicing through the field. And even though he can slice through the field with new tires, the 22 is driving away with older tires.
Driving away. In his 100th start, Austin Cindric is proving that even in 100 starts, he has a chance to become a champion. Over 300 starts for Allgaier behind him. So a massive experience difference between these two drivers.
Under 12 laps to go, the championship 4 has Austin Cindric running up front. Allgaier running second. Briscoe is 5th, and Haley is back in 9th. There are only 10 cars right now on the lead lap.
Coleman Presley spots for Austin Cindric, spotted in the truck race last night. I know him and Austin sat down and had a conversation about how that truck race went, trying to help his young driver. Every bit of experience. If you recognize that last name, that's Robert Presley's son. So he has been around racetracks his whole life. I say that because with 11 to go as a crew chief, I'm silent. I'm off the radio. I can't see the whole racetrack. The pit road here is very awkward. It's all up to the spotter, not just for information, but tone. I want him to ensure this driver how much distance he has to second and build that confidence to allow Cindric to put together what will now be 10 laps for a championship, 10 laps for a season.
Talk about Austin Cindric also. Think about the improvement.
87 to his 90.
Great information. The improvements Austin Cindric has made. This guy was focused on road racing, traveling around the world, learning how to be a race car driver in road racing. He then came NASCAR. And that experience, although he had speed, he wasn't able to put all the pieces together. Now, with experience, he's starting to make it all happen. Austin Cindric continuing to learn, continuing to improve. Close. It's not over yet, but close to his first championship.
Parker.
Well, Jeff, to add on to that, you know, he mentioned all those other racing he did, like sports cars and rallycross, showed him how to be fast. But when he got to NASCAR, it showed him how to race. And the other day I was talking to him, I said, how did you get into racing? How did you really decide? And I think a lot of people believe because his dad is the president of Team Penske that maybe this was forced upon him in some way. But no, it wasn't until he was 9 years old. He pulled his parents into a room and said, I want to have a discussion. And they said, what do you want, Austin? He said, I want to be a race car driver. So what a big validation moment for that family and for Austin to get to this level and be looking at his first NASCAR championship.
As we see the 22 move to the left of the 13, I want to just mention lap cars. Like this right here will upset the rhythm of the 22. Now he has about a half a straightaway to the next group. There's now 7 laps to go. I'm not sure if he will catch them, but if you're Allgaier, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for some sort of hiccup, a mistake out of the 22 if he gets to traffic.
Parker mentioned family. Austin's dad is the president of Team Penske. And Austin has said that if he is able to win the championship, who's going to be most excited? He said, my mom. My mom's going to be the most excited. Megan has been to every race. She's the boots on the ground, is what he said. She's taken him to, you know, all different forms of racing, whereas dad's been pretty busy. I mean, when you're the president of Team Penske, you got a lot of things going on. His mom is going to be the most excited for him if he's able to hold on for 6 more laps.
An incredible racing family. Think about this. His grandfather, Jim Truman, won the 1986 Indy 500 as an owner. Bobby Rahal driving the race car. Incredible racing family.
Cindric now with a 1.2 second lead as the laps continue to wind down on his first championship. We mentioned he's going to go cup racing, but it's not going to be next year. He's already been tagged to be the driver of the 21 for Wood Brothers Racing in the Cup Series, but not until 2022. Matt DiBenedetto will stay in the 21 next year. So another year of experience for Austin Cindric. And right now, this is something great on his resume if he can hang on.
I mentioned the spotter Coleman Presley also spots for Brad Keselowski. He'll have another shot again tomorrow. Pit crew, the same thing. This is Brad Keselowski's pit crew. So they got a little taste of the championship pressure today. They'd be able to carry that forward till tomorrow. So Team Penske using all of their assets to try to secure up a couple championships 3 laps away from their first. We'll see if Cindric can work through this lap traffic.
Briscoe is spinning in the center of 3 and 4.
Caution has come out. There'll be another restart before this championship is determined.
Oh, they're just never over, are they?
Here, you got a few more coming. There you go, you're good.
Briscoe seeing his championship hopes. Running in 5th.
Just he's been loose all day, right? I mean, trying to will that car around here, and we'll have to see the replay and see what happened exactly. Seems like nobody's around him. I'm guessing it just gets a little free here.
Just pushing for speed, trying to find something that just hasn't been there all day.
So now we have to flip the pressure. I think Jason Burnett knows what he's going to do. He put his last set of tires on. That's the crew chief for Justin Allgaier. The question is, what does the crew chief for Cindric do? Look at just the amazement. Unbelievable for the pit crew. And the reason I said that is he has a new set of tires. Last night, the championship leader stayed out. Other cars pitted, tires beat him, lost the championship that way. This is a view from the 98. You see all the smoke.
Steve, there's 10 cars on the lead lap. So does that make your decision easier to come to pit road with only 10 cars, but you know you only have potentially 2 laps to get up front?
Well, here's the problem. Well, if everybody's going to pit who has tires, you see Allgaier and Chastain, no sets, everybody else is set on the lead lap. Well, if everybody's going to pit, well, yeah, you want to pit, well, brand new tires and restart in 3rd. But what happens if Cindric makes the same decision, comes to pit road, and say 4 or 5 guys stay out? Because I'm telling you, if I'm the crew chief to the 9, and if I'm the crew chief for the 1, and the 22 pit, I'm staying on the racetrack. I'm going to try to help my teammate. I know people don't like multi-core organizations, but I can do it by doing what's best for me is also best for the teammates. Really good when that lines up that way. There were 50 laps on their tires last night. Tonight, there's only 28 laps on the leader's tire. Jeff, if you're Cindric right here, it's not about winning the race. You only have to beat Allgaier. We saw the 98 spin around, and Haley back in 8th. I stay on the racetrack, and I tell Haley, come get some tires and come get me. I am not pitting from the lead on a green-white checker for a championship. See the silence from the driver. He doesn't like making these decisions.
I don't know.
I
just tell me what to do, man. I don't want to make this decision.
Oh, here you go. Oh, my goodness. He takes the left, comes to pit road, and gives up the lead.
And look at who's following him. A lot of cars following him. This first time by, it's only lead lap cars that can come to pit road with him. So that means there's going to be quite a few cars that came with him and not very many that will be a cushion for the 7. Kelly.
And Justin Haley did bring his number 11 to pit road. You don't see him there in the shot. They had 1 set of Goodyear sticker Goodyears. There he is. Said the car was pretty good, especially on new tires, Parker.
It was a big discussion between Brian Wilson and Austin Cindric about coming down and getting these tires. They discussed the truck race last night and what you saw there, and they decided to put these 4 fresh Goodyears on and give them all the grip you can, Marty.
All the championship contenders who had Goodyear tires left come to pit road. Chase Briscoe said he felt like the left rear tire went down, but looking at that replay, it appeared as though all the tires were up. He said he literally went into turn 3 and just swapped ends on him. You also see a very big track bar adjustment. Once again, trying to tighten up that 98. They have struggled all day long with a very loose race car. This is going to be fun, Rick. We have fresh tires starting a little further back. Can Allgaier hang on?
So many teams have referenced the truck race from last night. Let's show you how that final restart went. And Steve, you mentioned the guy who was leading was far enough back.
Yeah, so that bright yellow 23 Moffitt, he was the leader on old tires, and just look how the tires come by inside and outside. Just no way to defend all the runs.
And look at the car, the truck, that 2 truck on the very bottom of the racetrack. He restarted 8th. He goes on to win the race. But Steve, your point about the number of laps on those tires, almost twice the number of laps on those tires as compared to what Justin Allgaier has on his right now.
So now we're going to have to figure out what lane they start. And that's the other thing that I think helped tires, Jeff, is now you can choose. You can kind of move up a little bit. We're not quite to the choose yet, but eventually we're going to see where they all choose. Currently, Allgaier leading. The 22 of Cindric, though, is in the 3rd position. Let's listen in to the radio on the 7.
All right, so do I even want to know how many lead lap cars stayed out? It really doesn't matter. Just going to have to go like hell, all you can. Green, white, checkered right here.
You know what? Sometimes I like with the, you know what, man? Let's not look at the negative. We're going to look at the positive, which is funny because my man, Jason Burdett, I know him very well. I won't say he's the most optimistic fellow. He's normally painting the other picture, but doing a nice job there, telling his driver, it doesn't matter what's behind you, man. We got to go. We got 2 laps.
Focus on what's in front of you. But, Steve, he made the right call. He had new tires and could not beat the 22. So at least he made his swing. He tried to make it happen, and now he has, at least he has track position. So if it doesn't work out, I still think he did the right thing.
There's no guarantees. We could see another wreck. We've seen 5 wide on the front stretch. I mean, they're in the picture. They've raced all year to make the playoffs. They raced the whole playoffs to make the championship 4. Now they've raced 100 or 200 laps at Phoenix to be in the championship picture. Well, here you go. Here's the chance. Here's the opportunity for a championship. You have older tires. I'm sorry is what Burdett wants to tell him, but at this point, we can't help you.
Now the 4 is going to be a wave around. Jesse Little's going to go by the pace car here in just a moment once they get everybody lined up. Then it will be Justin Allgaier's decision to choose either the inside or the outside lane. The only other car, and this was the information that wasn't delivered to Justin Allgaier, the only other car that stayed on the racetrack that was a lead lap car was the 10 of Ross Chastain. So those 2 are on older tires, the 22 of Austin Cindric, the freshest tires, and he's going to restart 3rd.
All right, Jeff, you're the driver. Tell me the perfect scenario for the 7 as far as the choose lane. Where does he go? Where does he want the 10 to go? Where does he want the 22 to go?
Justin has to go back and think about his race car, right? He's got to go back and think about where is his car the best? Is it on the bottom? Is it on the top? The main thing, though, Steve, is the great launch. He's got to get a great launch. He's got to take advantage of having this track position. He's got to enter turn 1 with the advantage. He cannot enter turn 1 side by side with somebody, because if he does, those new tires are going to eat him up. His opportunity is in the Geico restart zone and getting the launch. That's where it's got to start.
Well, here's the choose. Let's see, new this year.
Like the top,
He's
but if you want the bottom, I'm going to run with it with you.
He's going to the top.
I think that's...
Oh, and Ross Chastain chose the bottom.
I think that's better. I'm surprised Cindric took the top. I thought he wanted to be at the bottom with the new tires with only 2 laps.
I think that's an interesting call also. I really, with this racetrack as wide as it is, Steve, with those new tires, where can the 22 go? Now that he's picked the top, where is he going to go with those better tires?
Because remember, Rick, remind everybody one more time, because it's going to be crazy. You do not have to win the race. You have to outrun your others. So Allgaier, championship competitor. Cindric, championship competitor. Dave.
The Red 7 finished 13th in this race in March, and it was on a strategy call, according to Justin Allgaier. This is the next chapter in Do You Really Want to Be a Crew Chief? Tough on Jason Burdett, but he's made the call that he's made. Older tires now. We'll see if they can hold on, guys.
Look, in the outside lane, in the 5th row, is the 98 car. He is also a championship contender. And then behind the 20 is the 11. He is a championship contender. They both have tires as well.
We're in overtime, presented by Credit One Bank. It'll be 2 laps to go. Into the restart zone again. Allgaier up front. Austin Cindric in the 22, fighting behind the 7. Ross Chastain holding his ground on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Noah Gragson on the inside in the 9.
7's got the 22 boxed in, though, and his teammate is saving him. The 9's on the inside of the 22.
Just giving him all he can handle on the bottom right here. Cover me,
Coming up on 1 lap to go. 3 wide, and they contact at the line. Noah Gragson trying to take the lead into turn number 1. Cindric's up front. He doesn't have to win the race to win the championship, but he's got to finish in front of the 7. Coming back to the inside, trying to win this race. Austin Cindric, he mentioned it was a day in March when he realized the championship was reachable and attainable. The 22-year-old Austin Cindric is the Xfinity Series champion.
Hey, awesome. Man, I can't tell you how proud I am of you, this whole team, man. That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you. How about that, guys?
The former road racer has definitely graduated his talents to all facets of racing now. He is a champion.
2020 champ.
He had control of the race before that final yellow. With the way the strategy worked out, he had to go back in traffic, and he found a way on a green-white checker to get control of the race again, not just to win the championship, but he won the race. Passed Noah Gragson in the last set of corners. Impressive, impressive drive. You feel awful for Justin Allgaier, Haley, Briscoe. It's so much emotion to come here with a chance, but someone has to win it.
You guys
That's
are
what
giving me
sports
the
are all
opportunity
about.
of a lifetime. Believed in me. It paid off. You guys put your asses off for me. Yes!
That was Austin.
That's awesome.
6-time that the champion has won the final race of the season. This was his 100th start. Think about that. What a milestone. That flag that we just saw is going to be handed to the driver of the 22. Austin Cindric is now the Xfinity Series champion. Tied Sam Ard earlier this year when he won 5 of 6 races. Think about the run he was on there and the company that he joined. Sam Ard, one of the greatest ever to get behind the wheel of an Xfinity car. Megan, it's time to celebrate. That is Austin Cindric's mom. He knew that she would be the most excited for him. Austin climbing out of the car. The crowd that's here lets him know what a show he just put on. 2020 Xfinity Series champion, Austin Cindric. Kelly.
And Austin Cindric is just going to soak up this moment. And he deserves it, his 6th win of the season. There's not much left of those Goodyear tires, I can tell you that. And one of the first people to come on the radio and congratulate Austin, his team owner and boss, the captain, Roger Penske. We know he's got his parents looking on proudly. And your 100th career start, Austin, it proves to be a memorable one. You are the Xfinity Series champion. How confident were you in that late race call to come to pit road for fresh Goodyear tires?
Well, I watched Sheldon Creed do it last night, so why couldn't we? Amazing effort by this 22 team. Brian Wilson and all the guys, everybody back at the shop. There was a lot of work put into this race car. Roger Penske, everyone from Penske Racing, the Menards family, John, Paul, Jim, Jeff, all those guys that put so much support into racing itself. It's awesome to get them a championship in NASCAR, to be a champion in NASCAR, to do it in front of all these great people cheering us on in championship weekend. Ford Performance, everybody, Doug Yates, everybody at Roush Yates Engines. I'm speechless. I can't believe it. I'm pretty humbled by the effort for sure.
Austin, earlier this week, you told us that when you came into NASCAR, you knew a lot about cars, but you didn't really know much about racing. To now be a champion in this sport, what does that tell you about yourself?
I've certainly learned how to race a little better, that's for certain, but oh my God. The people that have put the support in me and been dedicated, my spotter Coleman Presley, all the folks that have supported me throughout my career, not just here, but road racing, driving rallycross cars, and my mom and my dad, I can't forget them. They're my parents, and they've put more support behind me than anyone else. My mom's been my rock for my entire racing career. I told you guys that earlier in the week, and I'm so glad she was here to watch.
Austin, for you, where do you think the turning point was in this race? That 7 was sure strong, especially on a short run. When did this thing come to life?
This thing came to life lap 1. I mean, talk about a relationship between driver and crew chief. I can ask him exactly what I need. We were terrible here in the spring race when I moved up. And I asked him, told him exactly what I needed. He gave it to me, and look where we are. It's amazing.
All right, we can count on a good celebration for Austin Cindric and his crew and family tonight. Rick.
Thanks, Kelly. The young man starting the celebration that was hard fought on the racetrack. He had to be the best of the 4. He was the best on the track today as he won the race, his 6th win of 2020, but the most important, he wins the championship. Austin Cindric is the 2020 Xfinity Series champion. So tonight it was Austin Cindric who grabbed the championship. Who's going to do it tomorrow in the NASCAR Cup Series? Pre-race show will get you underway at 1:30, all on NBC. Countdown to green, and then the championship 4. Fighting it out here at Phoenix in the Cup Series. That starts at 3 o'clock, and of course NASCAR American Championship post-race on NBCSN at 7. For more interviews, let's go to Dave.
Rick, Justin Allgaier, so close this afternoon. What are the emotions right now, Justin?
So close, but so far away. But first of all, hats off to Austin, the entire Team Penske group. They've been strong competitors all year, and to have the race they did tonight, they obviously were the best car, and they deserve to win. So proud of our guys, proud of everybody at Junior Motorsports. We had a shot at it at the end, and when it's all said and done, that's all you can really ask for. The fans that were here tonight, absolutely incredible. It's great to see faces in the grandstands.
Yes.
We know that 2020 has just been a terrible season for everything that's going on, and I'm proud of the fact that we've been able to hopefully bring a little bit of joy to everybody that's at home watching throughout this pandemic, and we've done a good job of trying to prove what sports can be like through this, and so proud of our team, all of our partners. You know, Brand Professional Agriculture, they've been with me now, this is 10 years, and we wanted so bad to get them into victory lane and win a championship, but just came up that much short. All of our partners, Unilever, Chevrolet, the Hendrick Engine Department, just everybody that's a part of this. You know, Xfinity, for what they do for this sport and this series, absolutely incredible. And you know, my family's here today, and it's so nice to be able to have them back at the racetrack with me. Even though they're not down here right now, I'm so glad to have them back. And we'll be back next year, hopefully one spot better. And like I said, at least we had a shot tonight.
Justin, describe for us the racing there at the end, because obviously you were down a set of tires, so to speak, and here came Cindric at the end.
Yeah, you know, I knew that they were going to be good on tires. I was hoping there'd be a few more cars in our rearview mirror when we took the green. But, you know, my teammate Noah Gragson did a great job of just trying to race, you know, and not that he didn't want to win the race, but, you know, he battled it out up there, and that really gave us a shot at it as well. And just didn't have the speed at the end. You know, we were off a little bit all night. And these guys, the hard part is our balance is so good. You know, that's the frustrating part. We brought a fantastic race car, and the balance was so good that it's disappointing to be in the situation that we're in. But again, hats off to these guys, everybody back at the shop, proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and we'll be back in 2020 and hopefully a little bit better.
Disappointed today, but a fantastic season for Justin Allgaier. Parker?
Right, Dave, and for Justin Haley, he finished 3rd of the Championship 4 contenders. And Justin, it looked like you guys maybe just lacked a little bit of speed there. What more did you need to go and contend with the 22 and the 7?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the 22 team. It actually sucks they got the championship because we share a plane, so we're going to have to wait on them to go home, but love it for Austin. But no, we were not too good there at the start, and then we actually took a little time on one of the pit stops, and we started running the top 5. It's super hard to pass, you know, just super fast racetracks. So this is awesome P3. It's the farthest that Colleague Racing's ever gone. Everyone at Leaf Filter Go Protection, Chris Rice, Matt Colleague, the Fraternal Order of Eagles. I'm still really proud of all my guys. Like I said, it's not exactly what we wanted, but I think if we wouldn't have got trapped a lap down there. That strategy is really what played into it at the end. So me and the 98 both got trapped, and just too far back to make anything happen there on the green white checkered.
I know before the race you mentioned how as a small team getting this far. What does it mean to you to make it this far and be a part of this championship for this year? And what will you take from it?
It's been awesome. Just the growth of this Kaulig racing team from where I stepped into it last year in the playoffs. We were out the first round. I think I finished 12th in points. So big improvement. Love the just the courage and the faith, and everyone at Kaulig Racing, we bet on each other. Like, I mean, it's just family. I love it. Love everyone there. So super excited, super blessed to have another year, another shot at it. That's what makes this, it doesn't sting as much because I know next year I can come back and get it.
A lot of positives for Justin Haley and this 11 team, Dave.
Well, Chase Briscoe finishes 9th on the day, but more obviously 4th in the championship run here. Chase, how would you describe this afternoon?
Just frustrating day. This is by far not my best racetrack, and we started the race, and for me, just leading laps here, I was like, wow, this is different, and I was just so loose at the beginning of the race, and as the night came, I just kept getting freer and freer, and I don't know how many times I about wrecked into one and would end up hitting the wall, and just I got to do a lot better job coming here. Something about this place that I just really struggle at, so got a lot of homework to do. Definitely frustrating to finish 4th in the championship after the year we had, but overall to win 9 races, it's been a phenomenal year. Happy that we were able to just make the Final Four with our HighPoint.com Mustang. It's just thankful to be driving in NASCAR, honestly. Obviously looking forward to next year, but this one obviously hurts. Anytime you can win 9 races and finish 4th in the championship, it isn't what you wanted, but we'll keep our heads high, and just proud, like I said, to this whole team to be able to work with me these last 2.5 years from where we started to where we are now has been a huge difference. So just thankful to be driving for Stewart-Haas Racing and come back next year.
Chase, how hard did you work at trying to make Phoenix your homestead and make this night yours?
A lot. Homestead I feel like is by far my best racetrack, and Phoenix I would say is probably my 3rd or 4th worst. So I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. Just the 3 guys that are in this Final Four outside of us are really, really good race car drivers. Do a great job here, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy coming into it, and they just did a better job as a race car driver. I just got to do a lot better here. So definitely do a lot more homework and hopefully come back better.
Congratulations on a great season. A lot of checkered flags on this 98 car, Rick.
Yeah, pretty impressive season for Chase Briscoe. Right now, a little tire change is going to have to take place to make sure that the 22 can get back to victory lane. That's here at Phoenix. Take a look at the Champ 4 and how they did. Once again, Austin Cindric was able to motor past the 7 of Justin Allgaier and win this championship. Allgaier finishing 2nd in the championship run. Haley was 3rd, and then that late caution coming out because of Chase Briscoe getting into the wall. So Jeff, Steve, we take a look at the end of that race, and Briscoe brings out the caution late, and all of a sudden it goes into the crew chief's hands. So you have this restart where fresher tires with the 22 gets him right up beside the 7.
Yeah, he had to push the issue right there. Had to drive it in the middle and just do what you got to do. Austin Cindric on better tires, the championship on the line. That's just not a place where you're going to lift off the corner. And then you see him with a tight battle right here, trying to win this race and trying to get himself where he knows he's going to win. Just a great drive. They had the best car all day, Steve. They had the best car all day. And I thought Austin Cindric was an incredible driver today, not just with his hands and his feet, but with his brain. He made a lot of his good decisions early, didn't get himself in a situation where he got damage to the car, was frustrated, I think, because he had the best car, but it's hard to pass. He just did a great job, and it's good to see the fastest car win the race, and quite clearly he had the best car all day.
You mentioned it, Jeff, early a couple of times, and I agree. I think we saw more maturity out of Cindric than we have seen in past years and definitely past races. He was very patient. The patience pays off. He knew he had a very good race car. You heard the answer right there. It was great at lap 1, so that tells me he was just taking care of it. I also think, though, that Allgaier, Jason Burdett did what they needed to do to give themselves a shot. I thought Haley continued to fight. Briscoe continued to fight. Coming into it, I thought we had a great 4 drivers with 4 very different stories contending. And that's the type of race we saw. By no means was it given to Cindric. He took it. He earned it. And that's what I wanted to see tonight more than anything, Rick, is I didn't want to see accidents, bad luck. It wasn't untimely yellow, but in the end, they all kind of cycled back towards the front and ended up on the lead lap. So congratulations, Brian Wilson, Austin Cindric, Team Penske. They were the best of the best, and they're the champions for it.
When we talked to Austin Cindric earlier this week, he made the comment, because he's been vocal on the radio. He said, you know, I learned my lesson this year. He said, the radio is for making the car better. He said, that's what I use the radio for. Well, he didn't have to worry about being frustrated. He had a great car. He knew on lap 1 that he had a great car and that he was in position, as long as he made the right decisions, that he could win a championship tonight. He wins the race and he wins the title, and the team already beginning their celebration up on this championship stage. And the car rolling in now. We go down to Marty.
Yeah, I wonder, Rick, if that's the first time we've had a tire change to celebrate a championship. Austin Cindric pulls in. Dad Tim is here. Roger Penske is here. Mom Megan is here as well. Brother Tanner back in London watching today. And Austin Cindric will now climb out of the car, an Xfinity Series champion, with a flag in hand from a race win. Austin Cindric officially gets to celebrate now a title. This guy's trying to shower him with some beer. They'll get to do that tomorrow with Brad Keselowski as they'll pit that car trying to win a championship in the Cup Series. Going to put on a microphone here to capture all of this for posterity's sake. And in a moment, he will get to claim the Xfinity Series championship trophy. Austin will have you climb up here on the stage and get your suit all fixed up. You go to that side. Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
And to congratulate the 2020 Xfinity Series champion, please welcome Matt Lederer, Vice President at Xfinity Brand Partnerships at Comcast.
Names are made here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and Austin Cindric, your name will now be forever known as champion. The consistency you and your team showcase throughout the season is the main reason why you're joining the elite list of Team Penske drivers to win a NASCAR Xfinity Series championship. Congratulations to crew chief Brian Wilson and owner Roger Penske for being back on the championship stage. So Austin, on behalf of our 30 million Xfinity customers and our over 180,000 Comcast NBC Universal employees, it is my pleasure to virtually present you with the trophy for being the 2020 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion. Congratulations, Austin.
Pretty cool stuff there, Austin.
Yeah, wow, amazing. I mean, the support Xfinity gives our series, I mean, it's unprecedented from a series partner. So I wish we got to see those guys as much as we usually do during the year. But thanks, Matt, and all your team. And I can't say enough about every single person behind me here. My picker guys get to go for 2 championships. So those guys are stoked. It's such an amazing experience. Thank you to Xfinity and everyone that makes this happen.
To officially present the hardware, we bring up NASCAR President Steve Phelps.
Hey, Austin, what an incredible season you had. 6 wins, none more dramatic or important than this one, to seal your first Xfinity Series championship. So on behalf of everyone at NASCAR and all NASCAR Nation, I want to present to you the 2020 Xfinity Series championship trophy. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
That's pretty good stuff, isn't it? Let's get your dad, Tim, and your mom, Megan, up here. Let's see if we can get those guys up here. Come on up, Tim and Megan. You said he's going to go grab them. You said, look at that. What a moment. Roger Penske, Walt Zarnicki there as well. I can attest from watching a very young Austin Cindric that his mom, Megan, was indeed at every race in Bandoleros and Legends cars. And Megan certainly soaking in this moment. Come on up, guys. I'm trying to get him to come up, Austin. They won't come up here. That's okay. Come on up, guys. Talk about Megan and your mom and your dad, Tim, and what they've meant to your career, Austin. You weren't kidding. Your mom did not miss a race in the early days, did she?
Do I have to talk into this?
Sure, talk in that one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I told you guys about my mom earlier in the year, I mean, you've seen, I mean, hell, you helped me change a motor in my Bando at the summer shootout one year. But, yeah, she's been there for everything, so I'm so grateful that she was able to be here, and I wouldn't be where I am without her, without my dad, without the folks from Team Penske. They've put a lot of resources behind me and invested a lot in me as well as Ford Performance, and it's that overwhelming support that makes you want to get up and work hard every day and prepare and be ready for opportunities like this.
That's the family side. How about the business side? To do this for Roger Penske, the significance for you?
It's huge. I couldn't stop thinking about it those last 20 laps. When we pulled away from the 7 on old tires, I couldn't get it out of my head. I mean, I was driving as hard as I could for knowing that I could win a championship for Roger Penske. You know the equipment that you're getting in is the best of the best. The people you're working with is the best of the best, and the partners are the best of the best. I mean, I said in my other interview, I mean, Menards put so much behind motorsports in general, racing, and to get them a championship. I wish those guys could have been here. Hopefully I can see them in the offseason and at least buy John Menard and Paul Menard a drink or two. Those guys are incredible advocates of the sport, and everyone else that's been on this car this year. I'm so stoked.
Austin Cindric, your 2020 Xfinity Series champion, winning it for Roger Penske and Team Penske.
There's more post-race coming up. Krista, DJ, Kyle Petty. And guys, we talked about this all season, the maturity of Austin Cindric.
Great job, Austin Cindric. He's continued to improve as a young driver. Got it really close to all being put together right now. Great job.
Yeah, an amazing run. And to think, Rick, we're only going to lose one of these 4 to the Cup Series. So next year, we got 3 of them back. The series very, very bright.
He'll try to defend his title, but right now he's going to celebrate. Soak it in. The 2020 Xfinity Series champion, Austin Cindric.
Welcome into the NASCAR America post-race show. A 22-year-old who drives the number 22 and grew up surrounded by the sport in Mooresville, North Carolina. Austin Cindric is the 2020 Xfinity Series champion. In the year 2020, celebrations look different. They had to try to shower their driver with beer from socially distant areas. The presentations are done virtually. But as we bring in Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett here in our NBC Sports studios as the championship stage celebration continues, what's not different, Kyle, are the blood, sweat, and tears it takes to win one of those championships.
No, that's it. Listen, the work ethic that this group has put in, the work they've put in at the racetracks, away from the racetracks, the engineering that went into these teams this year to get this team, to get Austin Cindric to a championship, the untold hours pay off in that trophy. You forget everything. You forget how bad it was. You forget the bad days. You forget everything because you're standing at Phoenix with the trophy, and it's all worthwhile in that moment. It was a great day for this sport, and it's great to have Austin Cindric back defending that championship next year in the Xfinity Series. We've seen so many guys win and move on. It's good to see him back defending it one more year.
Yeah, let me first say that so far people question what kind of racing would we get for that championship at Phoenix versus what we've seen at Homestead over these years. And Phoenix has not disappointed, has not let us down. The truck race last night was exceptional. This race was amazing again tonight. Just incredible driving by these drivers. But that 22-year-old right there has come a long way in what I consider a very short amount of time. For not having a lot of experience in stock cars, when he came, started driving these cars and working his way and working his way up, learning the ins and outs of it, and how to become a better racer. He's been fast since he came in here, but he's learned to race and understand when the important time is to go get the win and to take hold of the races, and he did that today. Very impressive what he was able to do.
And Dale, in the closing laps, he had to go chase down the veteran of the championship Ford. Justin Allgaier was out front. There was a late race restart due to a Chase Briscoe incident. And this was exciting in those closing laps.
Yeah, it sure was. Justin Allgaier was in control of this restart. And let me say this, that, strategy played a part in this. Justin Allgaier and Jason Burdett took their set of tires with a little less than 30 laps to go. And I agree with the call that they made because they weren't going to outrun Austin Cindric at that time with what they had. And you didn't want to be left with a brand new set of tires laying in the pits and thinking, what if? But you can see right here how much Austin Cindric wanted this. He was going 3 wide there right at the start-finish line with just 1 lap to get all of this done and made all the right moves. The new tires certainly helped, but still, he did a tremendous job of driving the car right here, KP.
Yeah, I don't think, as we look back on this race and we heard Jeff Burton and we heard Steve Letarte talk about it, I don't think you can question any pit call, and I don't think you can question any decision that a driver made. These guys raced each other hard. They drove each other clean, and I'm talking about all 4 of the contenders for the championship all the way through. They had to deal with other guys that are out there racing. That's the funny part about NASCAR racing and about our sport, is the championship contenders has to go against the rest of the field. But it was a spectacular, for me, race to watch how these guys have matured, to watch the show they put on for us, and to see this kid come out. And I will say this, I'll say it. If there had been a late race caution last year, it would have been Austin Cindric. I mean, he was Mr. Entertainment in a lot of ways. But this year, and for me, I don't believe I've seen any driver mature and come into his own as fast as Austin Cindric did this year. From where he was at the beginning of the year, 5 races in a row, to standing at the championship, an incredible young driver with an incredible future that lays ahead of him.
And as we see the celebration continue for Austin Cindric and Team Penske, again, Team Penske has 2 drivers in the championship for the Cup Series tomorrow. It's our opportunity, Dale, to also talk about those other 3 championship contenders. Justin Allgaier saying everything right there in his post-race interview, kind of a victim, like you guys said, of circumstance or situation. Chase Briscoe and Justin Haley, also such a good season. Incredible season for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, they all had great seasons, and they knew coming into this race it was going to be difficult, more difficult for some than others. And I think that we saw a little bit of all of that. Allgaier's car seemed to be really, really fast for 20 laps, and then it would kind of go away. But Briscoe struggled some. Justin Haley, they kept working on it, made it better at times, but it's highly entertaining to watch the 4 of them maneuver around here all afternoon. But Austin Cindric's the one that did the best job all day.
Well, let's hear from maybe the 2 people, other than maybe Austin Cindric, who are as excited as can be for this championship. Marty Snyder is with them.
I know they're thrilled. It is the parents. I finally got Tim and Megan to talk to me. I was trying to get you guys to come up on stage, and you didn't want to. So Austin said all week long, Megan, that you would be by far the most excited. All those days, traveling all those miles, does this moment make it all worth it?
Oh, absolutely. No, all the hard work he's put in over the years. I mean, to see this day come, it's super special.
How are the nerves?
Pretty good. You know, the 3 of us had dinner last night, and Austin was so calm that, it made me feel like, he's ready. Yeah, right. So was he right? Were you the most excited? Can you confirm, Tim, she was the most excited?
She's always the most excited, without a doubt. She and I can't watch the race together, so she's always most excited.
We're at opposite ends of the suite.
Oh, you were at opposite ends of the suite. Come on now. Why were you at opposite ends? Because he's pacing and critiquing as he goes along?
He doesn't like to listen to me.
Oh, okay. Because she's a worrier?
No.
Oh.
I'm a little too vocal.
Oh, okay. Now we get the truth. So, Tim, as a dad, how interesting is this for you? Because, you bring up a young son and you don't know how much talent he has as a driver. And to get to this moment, did you ever dream this was in the realm of possibility?
Thanks, Marty. I feel like this has always been Austin's dream. If you ask him, it was never my dream for him to be a race car driver, but it is a father's dream always to see your kids succeed when they deserve it. And, he's worked really, really hard to do what he's done. And obviously he's not in the easiest situation with the job that I have for a living. And, I always told him don't ever apologize for an opportunity. Just make the most of it, and that's what he did tonight.
All right, let's bring the boss in here, okay? Let's get this guy in here and talk about his young driver. I think he's always impressed you, but on that last restart, I think he really impressed you with what he did, Roger.
Well, I hope he impressed the whole industry. He certainly deserved it today, and just a terrific run. You know, we have a lot of confidence in Austin, seeing him grow up and part of the team, and I think this really put a championship note in his step, and certainly so proud of the whole team, and want to thank NBC what they've done, and the fans that came here today saw a real race and saw a new champion.
So I know you see all the behind the scenes and all the work he puts in. Is that even more gratifying to see a young man who wants it as bad as Austin has wanted it over the years?
Well, Austin's really committed. I mean, this is what he wants to do every day, in and out. He's at the shop. He's working with the team. In fact, took the team out for ice cream, I understand, last night. So he's in it for sure.
And I know you're happy for these guys, too. I mean, you've seen that behind the scenes as well and the work they put in.
Well, this team has brought us a lot of championships and a lot of success, so I can't thank Tim enough for being my partner, and certainly his partner. Mom, she's been with us young guys right from the beginning, so congratulations to both of you guys. What a day.
Cool to see the Cindric family celebrating, and the boss here as well, the captain, Roger Penske. Krista.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody runs from a series to an organization to an operation like Roger Penske, relishing another championship. But Kyle, as I was listening to Austin's parents, as you see him there talking to Mike Nelson, another key figure in the Penske organization, every parent out there, from the soccer field to band practice, I think kind of feels all the feels for Tim and Megan right now.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we heard Tim say nothing is more gratifying than to see your child succeed. And Dale and I can say here at this table, I had a son that drove a race car. Dale had a son that drove a race car. Has a son that plays professional baseball. And what your kids do, when you see it, what you've done in your life pales in comparison to the pride that you have for that moment. When you see them hit a home run, when you see them win a race, when you see them do something, it's your heart, it's your soul, it's everything that you've hoped for and dreamed for your children from the day they were born. I can only imagine what Tim and what Megan, the feelings that they feel right now, the pride they look at Austin with. It is a huge day for our sport, I think, in a lot of ways. But for this family, this is the moment that they have worked for since he walked in at 9 years old. I think I heard Parker say, I want to be a race car driver. This is a moment on that list where you check a box as a parent and as a child and as a family and say, big day, you did well.
Yeah, I think there's something, when you see this scene and you think about family, and Austin will realize this later on, that seeing his parents, and even though with the mask he couldn't exactly see their smile, but he could see it in their eyes and understand that. And I know that a little over 20 years ago, when I had the opportunity to celebrate a championship with my family, to see the happiness that it brought to my mom and my dad, and then to see the smile on Robert Yates' face that day are things that strike me that'll always be in my memory. So there's just nothing like that. And then to watch your kids succeed in whatever they're doing, there's just not a feeling like that as a parent. So very, very special time, something I'll always have. And I'll say this about Austin. He's not going to need what I'm about to say, because he's earned his right and he's going to move up through the ranks. But it's going to be pretty cool that if he ever has to go apply for a driving job somewhere, that he can pull out a clip and say, this is what Roger Penske said about me. That's pretty good. Pretty good odds that he'll get that job.
And here's what we love about the storytelling that a celebration and a championship moment has. You don't have to follow racing or really know anything about racing. If you just turn your channel over and see what's going on right now, to understand what Mom, you see there, Megan, is feeling, what you guys talked about with Dad, with the owner, with the team members. This transcends four wheels on a racetrack. This is about life. This is about rising to the occasion. And you know who else was watching tonight? How about the guys who share an organization with Austin Cindric, the two drivers who will race for their own championship, their own life-changing moment tomorrow. Brad Keselowski posting this on social media. Of course, Brad Keselowski won the Cup Series title, won an Xfinity Series championship for Roger Penske as well. Joey Logano, he will go for his second Cup Series title as well. Could the 22, the number 22, do it again tomorrow? We will get you ready for the Cup Series championship when we return to the Xfinity Series post-race show. That's the celebration from the Team Penske suite. We'll talk about Sunday's championship when we come back. Check out the greatest selection of T-shirts, hats, die casts, and much more for all your favorite drivers. Visit NASCAR.com/shop. As we continue talking about Austin Cindric's win, his championship, before the break, Dale thought accolades from Roger Penske were cool. What about this? Mario Andretti tweeting, "Austin, I always felt you were championship material." How about that for bulletin board stuff right there? Matt DiBenedetto, of course, also in the fold. So happy for Austin Cindric and the whole 22 Xfinity Series team. And now we turn our attention to tomorrow. We saw wild things happen today. We can't wait to see what's in store for Sunday.
A two-time champion certainly sounds a lot better than a one-time champion.
It comes down to just performing or not, and either getting the job done or you don't.
I'm confident that I'm a championship caliber driver. We're a playoff team. We're a pressure team. We love it.
Race for a championship. We're gonna rise to the
Will it be another Team Penske machine, or will Denny Hamlin or Chase Elliott add their name, Dale, to Cup champions?
Oh, my gosh. I've thought about this all week, and I'm still confused. I confused myself in thinking about this because all four easily could be. You could make the case for Chase Elliott with the momentum and what he did there. He had a great car back here in the spring. And then, of course, the Penske guys, Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski, are going to be right there. Logano just has that it factor of stepping up in the big time. And Denny Hamlin's had a tremendous season, looking to cap it off with that first championship.
Yeah, listen, you know me, I don't have an opinion on anything. But I said Joey Logano as soon as Kansas was over with, and I'm sticking with Joey Logano. How cool would it is it Penske wins two, if he wins tomorrow, 2 championships in a row, 2 with the car 22, just phenomenal. So I think Joey steps up, and it's gonna be a tough race. Great truck race, great Xfinity race. I'm looking forward to a great Cup race.
Kyle, you have an opinion on Edgar Allan Poe. We have seen it happen right here in this building. Well, congrats to Austin Cindric. Justin Allgaier said sports can lift us up and take us away. We hope this race this season provided an escape. Of course, there will be more tomorrow when you join us for the Cup Series champion. But as we wrap up the Xfinity Series season 2020, as Austin Cindric stands on the stage, we look back to what a season it's been. While the Justins gave it their all, Chase had a season of dreams. But the dream that comes true belonged to the 22-year-old who's behind the wheel of the number 22 machine. Congratulations to Austin Cindric, your 2020 Xfinity Series champ.